Yo, 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 what is going on, guys? Hope everyone's having a fantastic day today. So, Eagles, Commanders this Sunday, 1 o'clock. A lot to be told with this game. And obviously, Carson Wentz being a former quarterback with the Philadelphia Eagles, and obviously a matchup, really a stepping stone for us. And I think, the NFC East, those games are always close. And I feel like that the Eagles are going to start to stray. They're going to start to stray away from the pack during this game, and I think they're going to play really well. And so we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. I have a lot of faith in our offense going forward. Our defense. If Jonathan Gannon could still just keep this train moving with this defense, I think we'll be completely fine. And it's going to be a lot of fun. I want Carson Wentz to be sacked 3 to 5 times in this game. I don't see why they can't do it. He's coming off a 7-sack game, and Gannon just has to stay consistent with the pressure. And like I said, has got to ring up the blitzes a little bit with the stunts and just get this thing moving in the right direction. Because you're able to get to 3-0 after this game. You're in a you're not in a safe spot at all, but it's a nice start. And then you have the Jaguars at home. So, and not really a fantastic team either. Doug Peterson comes to town after this week, which is cool because I think he'll get a big standing ovation from the Philadelphia Eagles and the fans. So it should be pretty cool. But I want to thank everybody coming in tonight. I was going to do a stream the other night, but I was like, I'll do one. What's today? Friday? I don't know what day it is. It's Friday, isn't it? It's Thursday. Okay, so I was going to do a stream tomorrow, but I figured we'll do a stream today. We'll have videos out tomorrow. We'll have a stream on Saturday, and then we'll have the Philly Shakedown on Philly 500's channel Saturday night. So we'll be pretty busy this weekend. Sunday, we'll be streaming the game. We'll have a post-game stream, and then obviously the Philly Shakedown on my channel later that night to go over Eagles versus Commanders in Washington at 1 o'clock. So that's going to be pretty much the schedule for this weekend. We got Angel Carrillo. What's going on? We got Secondar Y. Says, Joey, what's up, Joey? So hyped for this game. Hurts going to throw 3 touchdowns this game. Birds 37-17. Loyal, what's going on, dude? Gustavo Meza, what's going on? Eagle Slayer says, Hurts is him. I totally agree. Ryan says, I paused listening to Aretha Franklin hear you speak. I can't wait to see you drop another gem. I appreciate it so much, man. I've been checking out your videos too, man. I've been checking out your videos. If you guys haven't subscribed to Where You Hide, he is a Eagles content creator, covers the Sixers as well, Phillies, all of Philadelphia sports. Yo, Ryan Roman, what's going on, dude? Luis says, what's good, Joey? Hopefully everything is good with you, man. I'm doing good, Luis. Same old, dude. Loyal, what's going on? Jeff says, we need to have consistent pressure on Wentz all game. Gannon is still on the hot seat. Yeah, I totally agree. I'm not going to say that I'm comfortable with Gannon now after one game. He has to keep this consistent every single game, and that's what I'm kind of looking for right now. Now, obviously, looking at a lot more tape from the Vikings game, I thought the Eagles actually didn't bring that bad of pressure. I thought Josh Sweat did a really good job. They moved. Obviously, he went in the 3-4. In the 3-4, they had Josh Sweat on the inside of the guard, which was pretty cool. And they were moving him around. I thought everybody did pretty well for what was given to us, and Gannon really having a big step-up game from the first game and not allowing how the Lions did to come back a lot of points. Obviously there was some potential drops, and obviously one drop by Smith from the Vikings at wide receiver. He dropped a potential touchdown, and obviously the field goal block where they could have scored on that drive, but Kirk Cousins was choking during that pressure, and it was kind of crazy. So Kyle says, who's ready for a trip to landfill, a.k.a. FedEx Field, that piece of crap stadium, dude? Rihanna, I watched Gingervitis only get sacked once knowing Gannon. Yeah, it might. It might happen. He might only get – I feel like he's Kirk Cousins in every way. I feel like Carson Wentz is going to put himself over the team, and he's going to try so hard to beat this team single-handedly on his own. So he might get a little pass happy. I think the Eagles will get a few sacks on him at least. I'm hoping like at least 3 they can get on him. If they don't touch him during this game, I won't be shocked. But defense needs to if they could shut down Dalvin Cook, Adam Thielen, and Justin Jefferson last week, I don't see why they can't, get on Jahan Dotson. And Dotson is definitely a very Dotson's very twitchy, very good route runner. McLaurin is, Slade's faced McLaurin before, so I don't think he'll have trouble. He's faced him since he's been here, so he knows how he plays, which is good. And then you have Gibson in the backfield. They have some good running backs behind there. Apparently, defensively for Washington, they're going to have two defensive ends that are going to be out. I think it's like Casey Toohill, and I forgot what the other guy's name is. They have a couple defensive ends that did not practice. So the edge might be where we're going to see the weakness in the Washington defense and for these read options. So if they have incapable defensive ends that can't maintain the outside, Washington might have a long, long day on Sunday. It'd be some easy runs by Jalen Hurts. As much as I don't want Hurts to run so much, it's worked. The problem is you just can't get hit too much all season because God knows anything could happen during any moment, which is a good thing because you know what? I like that Miles Sanders had more rushing yards. Miles Sanders had more rushing yards than Jalen Hurts. If you see Jalen Hurts with the most rushing yards in the game with this offense, I'm not really liking it too much, but I'm glad that Miles Sanders had more yards. I think he had 80-something yards, whatever it was. So it was a good day for Miles Sanders and the rest of the running backs from all the opportunity that they did get, which was pretty good. Nick says Wentz is first in NFL for passing touchdowns. He had a really good 2 games. So Tosh said Wentz really thinks this defense won't destroy him. We'll see. I think they will. I think this defense is going to take advantage of the matchups, and I think they're going to pressure the crap out of Wentz. The Eagles have a lot of tape on Wentz, okay? Not just from being a Philadelphia Eagle, but going to the Colts and obviously getting the scouting report probably from Frank Reich as well. There's definitely a lot of things they could do to study a lot of film on Wentz. So it should be interesting. Nick says Goff threw 4 touchdowns versus Washington. Yeah, I think both sides played really well, but the defense just stepped up. The defense just stepped up for Detroit, and they're looking like a pretty legitimate, strong team under Dan Campbell right now. So, Cade said, "What up, Joey? Can't wait to go against Wentz. Hope we get after him and force hero ball." Yeah, I think he's going to play hero ball in this game because Jalen Hurts is all about the business of this game. He doesn't care about the outside noise, the drama that's around this game between Carson Wentz used to playing with the Philadelphia Eagles and mentally being beaten by Jalen Hurts to be out of his starting job. So I think there's a lot that goes into it, but I think they're going to have a really good game. I think Hurts is going to just focus on him leading this team to victory, and that's it. Nothing else around it, which I do like about Jalen Hurts. So Gustavo Meza says Wentz is going to play hero ball, and that's going to cost him the game. Yeah, he's going to put himself – Carson Wentz is going to put himself over the team. That's what I think. He's going to put himself over the Washington Commanders, and I think he's definitely going to screw up a few times. I think that's going to happen. KZSF 3455. I'm Italian. Where you hiding? What's up? Dave Sat 1964 said, "What up, Joey? What's going on, dude?" Chillery says, "My guy Joey Shakes, chill. What's going on?" Ryan says, "I hope Jalen Hurts gets more better." I think he will, man. I mean, if Hurts could play the way he did, and obviously there's a lot that has to go into this offense for Jalen Hurts to play well. This offensive line needs good protection. Okay, the Vikings did not blitz. The Vikings didn't have a spy on Jalen Hurts, so there's going to be a huge difference in this game. You know that Washington is definitely going to bring pressure. So that's one thing you have to take into account, that the Vikings gave the Eagles no pressure. I don't even know how many times they blitzed, and it wasn't much. It wasn't even 3 times. It just wasn't much at all because they have to pick their poison. Defenses have to pick their poison against the Eagles because, you can't double any of these receivers. You just can't do it. So, yo, Joseph Dace, what's going on, dude? Fly Eagles fly, man. I'm probably not the only person who thinks that, but Ginger Vias doesn't feel half of what he feels about our city. He wants our necks. He won't get it. No, I mean, he said some things the other day that kind of made me really confused. Like he said he could have been a better person, could have been a better teammate. I don't know why he's saying all this stuff. Like, here's the thing. The Eagles got a big win Monday night, okay? And you think it's a big emotional win because it's a big win on Monday night. And usually when you have those big primetime game wins, you think the Eagles are going to feel themselves up. They're going to feel, they're going to feel confident, but they're not going to be cocky and take every team lightly going forward and thinking that they're the best and they're the best of everything. I totally get it, but I don't think that's the case with the Eagles. I think they're just confident and they're just taking care of one team to another in front of their schedule every single week. And I think that's what they're going to do. So Big says easy dub. I won't say easy dub. I mean, they made it look easy Monday night. They could have scored more points in the second half, but the penalties are definitely a whole nother aspect of the game they need to fix. I mean, 10, I think they had 10, I think 9. I think they had one less penalty than they did against the Lions, but they have to, there's so many drive killers to this game on Monday night, and they have to clean that up because look how many more points. They could have scored over 42 points on the Vikings Monday night. They could have done it, but obviously special teams is horrible too. Todd Chris, I don't think any of the Commanders' corners can catch up to Quez. I hope he takes shots at Quez for a deep ball. Yeah, I'm not a big fan of the corners for Washington at all. Even if you, you put a couple guys in the box. I mean, they're gonna have to play. They might have to play zone. I mean, if they play man, I'll be very surprised. Like I don't think they're gonna be able to handle what we're giving to them. I really don't. I mean, you have A.J. Brown, you have Devontae Smith, you have Quez Watkins. Quez Watkins, I think, one of the most underrated players on this team because I feel like with 647 yards last year and only 2 drops, he was a number 2 receiver, not really getting all of the throws that he wanted because Jalen Hurts had a lot of issues last year with his reads and just everything that was going on. So I feel like Jalen Hurts is going to this game full throttle, going to lead this team, and we're going to get it. Quez Watkins is our legitimate deep threat. As much as he says he's the fastest guy, which I don't think he's the fastest guy in the NFL. I think we all know that. I think he ran for like 20.4 miles per hour on that touchdown, which was pretty damn fast. But I think it takes less pressure on Quez with the number 3 corner on him and just being successful in this offense. Quez Watkins is here for another year. So you have this trio of really good receivers for another year. Even Zach Pascal's another guy. Zach Pascal's another guy that I've watched that, like, even if he gets 2 snaps a game, 3 snaps, whatever the case may be, if the opportunity is there for him, he always makes the catch. He's a savvy vet, and I think he's perfect as our number 4 receiver right now. So very happy with him. Let's see. We got a super chat from Cosmo Kramer. Thank you so much, man. He says, guess who, Joey? The only Eagle who played 100% of the snaps on D against the Vikings is amazing. The newest Eagle on our roster. Name him. The only Eagle who played 100% of the snaps on D against the Vikings is amazingly the newest Eagle on our roster. Well, it wasn't Jordan Davis. It wasn't Nakobe Dean because he wasn't playing. It wasn't Hassan Reddick. I'm trying to figure out who the hell that is. 100% of the snaps? Nikki Cunningham says Gardner Johnson. I didn't look at his snap count. I have the list. I just didn't look at it fully. Who is there 100% of the snaps? Was it Gardner Johnson? Was it him? Appreciate the super chat, though. But, maybe it was him. Kyle said, do you think Slade is going to be Wentz's best receiver if he decides to throw it? You think Slade's going to be his best receiver? Yeah, who knows? I mean, look. It's gonna be interesting. I feel like if you get pressure on Wentz, he's going to do Wentz things and try to throw while he's getting tackled. He's gonna throw with one hand. I think he's just gonna do that. I think he's gonna do that. Ivan says, Joey, don't forget Goddard. Oh yeah, no, I mean definitely. I mean Dallas Goddard's a huge mismatch too. Yeah, Nikki, you were right. Nikki, you were right. Jared said, what do you think about Jordan Davis and Dean? I mean, Davis, just his conditioning is just really bad. I mean, it's just I thought he did some good things. I mean, he laid some Vikings offensive linemen out a couple of times. Like he did a good job in clogging up the hole a little bit, which was great. But he's got to get more conditioning. He's just got to get more in shape because he will become the starting defensive tackle next to Hargrave once Hargrave gets that extension this year. Hopefully they give him that extension this year. Most likely, you're not losing 4 defensive linemen this year. Potentially losing Brandon Graham. You're going to lose Fletcher Cox. Hargrave's a free agent, but definitely an extension is going to come. And then Barnett's coming off the ACL. He's got 1 more year left on his deal, but I wouldn't even keep him, to be honest with you. That's just me. So, and Dean Dean might be in the cards next year. I don't know what they're doing. I mean, they played pretty well without him. It's just an extra linebacker that we have, and who knows? I mean, if there's an injury down the line, I don't know if I thought they would at least put him on some, at least I really liked what I've seen from him in that first Jets preseason game. We saw a good amount of him, and I thought he played really well and showed toughness and knocked some guys over and played really tough. But I just think there's more to it than that, and I don't think it has to do with anything about his skill set. I just think there's a lot of competition in front of There's a lot of competition in front of Nakobe Dean right now, and I think they just, he'll probably be in the cards for next year mostly. But hey, I think he'll definitely get shot at playing time this year regardless. So we will see. Tim Wall, what's going on, dude? He says Kaiser White or CGJ. You know what? I like Kaiser White a lot. TJ Edwards has been fantastic. But Kaiser White has gotten some plays. He's made some good tackles here and there. Chauncey Gardner-Johnson, look, I think he just has to get more acclimated, but I think he's definitely a big future weapon for us. I don't know. I need to see more from him in the coming weeks. It's very early in the season. Gardner, they had him on a lot of blitzes. They started blitzing with him. They're kind of using him as that, like that Malcolm Jenkins piece for us and kind of moving him around the field, which is good. I can't really complain about it. So I think that's another contract you're going to have to look at after this year as well. So I don't know how he's going to do it to keep this roster together, because you got a lot of guys that are coming off of the last years of their contracts. So we're going to see how this is going to go, but we'll see. Tyler says Wentz will have one series where he's good, then plays bad the rest of the game. Yeah, he's going to have, look, I'm not saying he's going to be bad the whole game, but we'll see. We got Preach. Hamilton says we going 6-0 before the bye. I think it's possible, but I think maybe they lose one game. I think the game that they lose is probably against the Cardinals. I don't know if they can contain Kyle Murray. Kyle Murray is just, I'm not saying he's a great quarterback or anything, but I think Kyle Murray is just so athletic and is going to extend plays like crazy. Like, our defense has to get him off the field, because if they can't get Kyle Murray off the field, they're going to be gassed the whole entire game. If they can't stop him on third down, it's going to be a long game for the Eagles defense, a long game. So we'll see. We'll see. Jefferson says record prediction. I think they can win 13 games this year. I think they can win. I think the lowest is like 12. I think they can get over 13 games this year if they really surprise me. Chef Nabi, what's going on, dude? He says I drafted Hurts over Wilson in fantasy last year and they bashed me. I drafted him over Wilson again this year and they bashed me. Hurts proving everyone wrong. Even my league mates. Well, yeah, I don't know. A lot of people are making fun of Wilson. About Russell Wilson just being like a cheerleader for the Denver Broncos. Like, I don't know. Like, I think they were way overhyped this year, and they just don't look good. I don't think they look good at all. BLHG said, "What good, Joe? Just got done watching the Phillies game. The Phillies beat the Braves in game 1-1-0, but now I'm here ready to talk some Eagles." Definitely, dude. Definitely. Yeah, was there like 15 games left for the baseball season? John says thoughts on JG 2 weeks in. I thought he got better. I mean, he's trending upwards, so that's the good thing. There's some, the pressure's a lot better. He's dialing up more blitzes. He's not taking his foot off the gas like he did in the third quarter of that Lions game, being up 17 points, and you were up 12 points in this game against the Vikings, and he just kept going. And even when we didn't have consistent pressure, I thought even when we almost got the Cousins a few times, like very close, but when we didn't have consistent pressure, the coverage between Bradbury and Maddox and Slay, especially big play Slay. But I got to say, man, we are lucky to have some good cornerbacks in this room right now. We are lucky to have big play Slay in this room right now. Avonte Maddox and James Bradbury, that came in as a number 2, used to be a number 1 for the Giants, gave up over 800 yards last year, a Pro Bowler a couple years ago, and not too much on his plate as a number 2, but I thought Bradbury's playing really well. Tim Wall says Gann better not let his foot off the gas with the pieces we have and the momentum we have after the recent win. No, I hope he doesn't, man, because otherwise he's doing this. I mean, this, hopefully. I was afraid Monday night when the Eagles I was at the game, so when the Eagles defense was on, I was like, here we go, see what happens. And I was very surprised how they were playing, man. I mean, Howie Roseman must have sat down with Nick and Gannon and was like, we got to fix this defense, because I gave you a brand new defense on a silver platter pretty much. And yeah, you got to do more with it. Jefferson Father says, I hope we see 2020 Carson. And look, I don't think we're going to see a full 2020 Carson, but you never know. You know what I mean? Emotionally, he might feel a little too much in this game. It might get the best of him. So we'll see. Mr. Front Row Product says this one is definitely personal between Wentz versus Hurts, but they are for sure aren't going to make it to that, make it like that to the media. No, of course not. But I don't know if Hurts really gives a crap, though. I don't even think Hurts really cares that much about it, to be honest with you. I think maybe there's a little bit in Jalen Hurts that says, okay, well, I took your team away from you. I beat you out of your starting job, and I'm going to beat you with the other team that you're on right now. And Wentz, I think, is just pure revenge. I think Wentz is more 1,000 times more emotional than Jalen Hurts. Jalen Hurts is just going to do the business, meet the standard every single game. And that's all that matters. I think there's something inside Jalen Hurts going to this game, but not as much as Carson Wentz, not even close. But I don't think it's going to bother Jalen Hurts at all. So Ryan Rollins says if Jalen Hurts improves, then he deserves a contract extension after this year. Yeah, of course. If he plays like he did Monday night, he's going to get it. Sean said, hey, Shakes, Dan Silio is a real hater. Him and McMillan, Tyler Murray is trash. Jeff says the key for defense is to rattle Wentz from the first snap and stay in his face the rest of the game. Cannot let him get settled. Yeah, I think that's going to be the main focus. I heard that their center has been giving up a lot of pressures as well. I don't know if their starting center has been out. Apparently, they have a lineman hurt right now, so I'm not sure. I got to see the injury report going into this week. Scoop Doo, so we practice against Hurts every day, though. Eagles Slayer says, I think we finally win in Arizona a couple weeks. That's just me. Hey, look, I think the loss, I don't even want to say they lose against the Cowboys. I can't see them losing against this. I can't see them losing against Carson Wentz. I can't see them losing against the Jaguars. The only way I'm going to see them lose is really between Arizona and the Cowboys before the bye. I mean, that's really it. It's really it right now. Kyle says October is the best month of the year. Oh, it is my favorite month. Halloween is my favorite holiday, so. Brad's on man update. Slay went from 92 to 94. Hurts only went from 75 to 76. Maybe they didn't watch the game Monday. Yeah, I guess not. Jerrison says, thoughts on Shane Steichen. As much as I like Shane Steichen's play calling, and these RPOs make me really nervous because you can't have a quarterback doing this every single game, all game. Hurts taking a amount of hits. The hits on Hurts is going to start to pile up every single game. And I know that Hurts is being more careful when he has the ball in his hands. Like if he thinks he's not going to get anywhere with a few defenders in front of him, he will drop to the ground if he has to kind of play it safe, to not get hit every single play. But if he's near the end zone, Hurts is going to take it. And he did that twice against the Vikings on Monday night, especially the one where he was at the 10-yard line when he was starting to get tackled, and he still made it to the end zone, which I was really excited for. I was actually like, holy crap, I can't believe he did that. Even though we struggle against mobile quarterbacks. Yeah, I think we've always struggled against mobile quarterbacks, but I think that's a good test for our linebackers because we got tricked. I don't know how many times, whether it's read option, whether it's RPOs, like we got faked on. Our linebackers we're not good during those times. So BLS said 13 games left in the season for the Phillies. All right, 13 games. Okay, I got confused. I try to watch baseball when I can, man. I try. Tim said we need to see Slay at receiver again for another Lane Johnson touchdown. That would be fantastic. Rob over 9,000 says pressure up the middle and it's wrap, plain and simple. Yeah, I think that's where it's going to go, man. I think this is where we're going to have to get it. I just have this feeling inside myself that Wentz he's going to get sacked like 3 to 5 times or maybe even more than that in this game. I think the pressure is going to be too much for him. Eagle Slayer says Gannon had an angel hover over him the entire game like an angel's in the outfield. I'm around 58 says, why do the Eagles never start out a rookie to Kobe Dean? Haven't seen him. How he's still afraid of bad picks? No, I don't think it's that. I just think that Dean just has too much competition in front of him. And not to say that Dean is bad, but they really don't need him right now. They're not using him right now. I don't think it's a part of it to say he's bad or like he's terrible, or I don't know why they're not using him, at least for blitz packages or something like that. I haven't really seen anything, but Bro, 824 says Carson gonna get injured. Flag will fly. Well, I'm not wishing injury upon him. I just want him to be legless after the game, but no injuries. Eagles Slayer says Cilio is a goof. He's not even an Eagles fan. Mr. Front Row Production says I think mostly Hurts is going to get into a game trying to make a point that he deserved the franchise over Wentz. Yeah, I think that's where it's going to come into effect. I think that's the only thing that Jalen Hurts is going to prove, that he is the franchise and not Carson Wentz. And Carson Wentz is going to want to show the front office that they shouldn't have traded him. They should have, they should have done right by him or whatever the case is. I don't even care about it anymore. But Style Meza says, I have a feeling that Hurts is having the pop off for 500 yards in one of these games. Yeah, that'd be great. Look, I don't think he might not even have 300 yards in this game. He might not even have over 300 yards versus Washington, even if he has 240, 250 yards, whatever the case may be. However, the Eagles need to game plan it with matchups every single week with the run game. However they got to do it, they're just going to do it. You know what I mean? So we'll see. Mr. Fernando says, and I think Carson wants to complete revenge on the team that gave up on him. And I think Carson just wants to complete revenge. Yeah, pretty much. Pretty much. I think so. Eagles player Cecilio is a crook. He's not even an Eagles fan. Weapon X NFL, what's going on, dude? He said, I'm ready to see this team play while behind. Yeah, dude. I want to see Hurts just keep throwing, just keep winning with his arm. That's all I want to see. Taylor Great said, we are really a nightmare to contain on offense. Yeah, I totally agree with that, man. Like, I don't know what the Vikings were doing Monday night. They didn't blitz. They didn't have a spy. I mean, I think besides, like, look, I think Jalen Hurts is the biggest weapon in our offense because what he does is going to make a big play for somebody else. I think that's what teams are becoming really afraid of, which is great. Game with Duke TV said, what good, Joey? How are you going to my first Eagles game ever? Are the NFL games fun? Yeah, they're fun, dude. And once you go to your first NFL game, you're going to love it and you're going to want to keep going. It's nice to be home sometimes because your bathroom's here. You don't have to spend a fortune on parking and getting stuff, and spending money on food and stuff like that. So if you're going to your first game, I hope you have a good time, man. Jared said, I want to see Eagles versus Dolphins Super Bowl. It would probably be the Eagles in Buffalo, I would have to say. The Dolphins, no, probably be Buffalo, to be honest. Weapon X says TJ Edwards playing lights out. He is. I mean, he had 10. What he had? He had 2 tackles for loss. I think he had 10. I think it was 10 pressures. 3 of those pressures came off of picks, which is pretty good. I thought he had a lights out day. TJ Edwards is not even just in the blitzing aspect, but in pass coverage as well. I think he's playing really well. He was targeted, I think, 9 times and didn't allow 1 yard, which is great. Eagles Alliance said TJ Edwards is balling. Who would Dean replace? I mean, if you're going into next year, like I think the Eagles are going to make a decision on between re-signing Kaiser White or keeping TJ Edwards. I think that's going to be the big decision. Joe Day says we don't need to injury him to beat him. He will beat himself. Yeah, I probably will. Tyler says I hope Hurts stats blow Wentz out of the water and hopefully a huge lopsided win for us. Just however we get the win, that's what we have to do. Totally agree. Kevin says we didn't give up on him. No, I mean, I'm not going to get into the whole Carson Wentz thing because I've talked about it so many times, but I think part of it is he quit on this team after the Green Bay game last year. In 2020, he quit. He pretty much quit on the team after he was benched and didn't really want to fight for a spot. And I think part of it is his fault. I think there's some things I do agree with him that he did, but there's a lot of things I didn't agree with either. So Eagles says Quez is the fastest player in the league. I don't think he is the fastest player in the league, which I just like. I like the confidence he has. I mean, he is fast. There's no doubt about it. I think Quez Watkins is our legitimate deep threat, but I don't think he's the fastest in the league, though. But he's still really fast. Tim Wall says, when we minimize the RPO, we became number 1 run offense. Go back to that running scheme. Yeah, dude, I like it, but as much as we want him to be more of a pure passer, it's just never going to happen. I think he had a fantastic game when he did pass the ball. Don't get me wrong, but his skill set is running. That's just the way it is. It's something that you can't take away from him. You can't handicap him. That's part of his game. And that's how good he is at the RPOs. You know what I mean? Like he tricked me. If you even watching the Monday night game, he tricked me. He tricked my eyes like a few times on if he was going to hand it off or keep it to himself, which is kind of crazy. We got Sixers dub. What's going on, dude? Sub Shakes Hurts just scares the crap out of me because he's keeping the ball a little too much now. I just hope he could stay upright. Yeah, that's what I'm afraid of a little bit. Like, I think that's part of his skill set, but at the same time, like, you can't let him get hit that many times every single game. It's going to be a problem. I'm around 58 says Eagles should play single high and challenge the Commanders. Yeah, they could. I mean, they could do that. Consider the Catch says, do you think they limit Slay during the game because of his minor injury? He's 100% fine. He's not even on the injury report at all. I think he had a lot of rest days this week, so I think he's perfectly fine. I don't think they're going to limit him at all. He's going to be on Terry McLaurin probably the whole game, so should be interesting. Jared Savava says, do you think the Vikings played really bad or we played really good? These are the questions I can't stand. Like, if we win a game and beat a team if we beat a team and dominate over a team, it's because the Vikings or that team we faced did not play up to par. Okay, we pressured Kirk Cousins. Kirk Cousins threw 3 picks because of it. Okay, that's just the way it is. There were some open receivers during some of these plays that we got interceptions on. Well, that's because the defense did their job at the end of the day. That's what they did. So I think the Eagles literally just dominated, and I think that's what they did. BLG said, how about we get Jordan Mailata touchdown this year? Hey, I wouldn't mind it at all. There's Dub said, we're going to contain and probably double team McLaurin. Yeah, we'll see what happens, man. I don't think you have to double team McLaurin. I think Jefferson is way better than McLaurin. I think McLaurin is still great. Don't get me wrong. But I think Slay could take care of McLaurin all by himself. That's just me. Joe says, I'm going to the Dallas game. Oh, you're going to the Dallas game? Dude, I hope you have a good time, dude. Ibade says, Joey, any good news is that Washington Commanders' rush defense is ranked 32nd in the NFL overall. Is that true? Really? If they got their defensive ends out for the game, they got 2. They got Casey Tuhill and I think one more player out for Sunday. It's not official yet, but they haven't practiced at all. If they're losing some defensive ends this year, that's not good. It's not good. I mean, that's that they're not going to be able to contain on the outside. Never mind trying to run up the middle in between the tackles. But if you're able to get the edge and they can't contain, it's going to be nuts. Because once Hurts rolls out, defensive ends can't contain. Linebackers are coming in, and some receiver is going to be wide open for a big chunk of yards. And that's why having A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith, Dallas Goedert, Quez Watkins is going to make this a lot better. And Jalen Hurts looks like he's making these throws, which is great. Taylor Great says, Eagles and Bills fan base coming together in a bowl would be wild. Pray for that city. Yeah, it would be kind of nuts if that could happen. Just imagine if they could do that this year. Seriously, how about Slay? He was a nightmare versus Jefferson. Dude, he was amazing. He was amazing. Even when the Eagles didn't have consistent pressure, man, he had some good. I mean, he didn't even hit 50 yards for the day. It was like 40-something yards. Thielen hit like 50-something yards on less carries, less catches, but I expected Justin Jefferson to get like 80 to 100 yards that game. I didn't think he would have had a game that he would have had unless the Eagles defense didn't play well. If the Eagles played like how they did against the Lions, I thought he would have had like 215 yards. Like, no joke. I thought he was going to massacre us if they played like that. But that defense totally changed around Monday night. Kyle said it's way early to say the S word. Yeah, no, I mean, look, everyone has their own opinion. If people are very, considerate to say that they could reach a Super Bowl this year, I'm not gonna doubt them for it. You know what I mean? It is what it is. Everybody has their own opinion. Like me, I'm not that guy. I'm gonna take it game by game, and that's just the way it is. I'm not gonna rush to say anything different. You know what I mean? We got a super chat from LP. Thank you so much, man. He says, get after Carson by using Reddick properly and clean up the penalty, especially ineligible receivers downfield. I really don't that penalty was pissing me off. I really didn't like Hassan Reddick in coverage. I mean, maybe it's just me, but I didn't like him in coverage. Like, I don't know. Maybe he just can't play. I mean, I don't know. This guy doesn't even have a sack yet. This guy needs to play on the edge. I understand the 3-4. He's going to be outside or he's going to be on the edge, however they're using him. But I do not like how they're using Reddick right now. Reddick needs to be more involved because he is a weapon and he's just not. I mean, there was one time he almost had Cousins' legs on the ground. He was pretty close. But I need to see more from Hassan Reddick. And it's not really his fault. It's Gannon and how they're using him. Not even a sack yet. 23, what do you have? 23 and a half sacks in 2 seasons. I mean, it's just insane. He doesn't even have a sack yet. So a little concerning, but we'll see. We'll see. Kyle says, way to easy to say the word, the S word, 0-0 this Sunday. Yeah, dude, that's what it's all about. Every Sunday, we're trying to get 1-0. That's all I care about. I'm not looking down the road, all the way down the road. It's just not happening. Howie the Magician, he says, Joey, imagine we go undefeated before the bye week. Philly will be on fire. Yeah, there'll be a lot to look forward to after that bye week. There's no doubt about it. Bill G says, who do you have covering each of the receivers? Carson Wentz, McLaurin, Dotson, Curtis Samuel, and Logan Thomas. Right now, I mean, I think Slay's on McLaurin. Dotson, I think they're going to it just depends. It depends what they're doing with the linebackers. They're going to have him in zone. They're playing a 3-4 for more coverage. They could do that on him because Dotson's really twitchy, really good in the red zone as well. He's way too much of a good route runner. Curtis Samuel, obviously coming off injury, but could be a problem. But I think they could handle him. And Logan Thomas, I'm not really worried about him too much. But it just depends. I think when it comes to, I think they play some 3-4, get more coverage out there, some blitz packages, dial some things up. I think really it's going to come down to getting pressure on Carson Wentz so he can't get the ball to these receivers, which is going to end up in a lot of turnovers in this game. And that's what I'm hoping for. So we will see. Jesse Bow says, I was a little scared of Hurts because of the numbers Tua put up, 6 passing. It's amazing to think Hurts and Tua, same team at once with a Matt Jones backup. Crazy. Yeah, but you know what? Is Tua really going to have numbers like that ever again this year? I don't know. You can't put too much into that game. I mean, look, it was a fantastic game. They came back from, I don't know what the deficit was. It was a huge deficit in the fourth quarter, okay? And they came back from it and won the game. And, you know, I don't know. Those games are weird to me because I don't know if Tua is going to put up numbers like that ever again or have a big comeback win like that ever again. We'll see. I mean, they kind of made a big deal out of it, which it should be a big deal. But if I see this a couple more times from Tua, then yeah, he's gonna look really good and definitely gonna get a new contract with the Miami Dolphins. Joe said, 1 game at a time, stay focused every week. That's all I care about, dude. Garrison said the offensive PI on Devontae was terrible. Yeah, which was weird because he went around like he touched the defender, but he didn't like push into him. He went around him and like literally his shoulder or his jersey just scraped the side of him. He didn't interfere or anything. I think that was a bunch of BS. Serious Dubs, I love him a lot, but he's got to watch those penalties. Yeah, I mean, Eric Dickerson as well. Landon Dickerson as well. He was another one that had a couple penalties. I mean, it just happens. Joe said we have to clean up the penalties. Weapon says Reddick doesn't look like a good fit. I don't know what's going on. Like, I don't like him in this pass coverage. I just maybe just because he's here, it just doesn't fit him for what he's doing. I don't know. But it should be interesting. I don't know. Yo, Big T, what's going on, dude? It's been a while. He said, yo, Joey, 505, brother. Hope all is well. Let's keep these wins coming. Been loving what I've been seeing overall. Only small areas to iron out. Yeah, dude. Like, look, if we're talking about small areas to iron out, it's the penalties on offense. Defensively, it's just getting consistent pressure. Ever since Jim Schwartz left, I mean, the defensive line has been lacking. I felt like we've gotten the total opposite. We've gotten better at corner. We've gotten better at linebacker. We've gotten better at safety, but defensive line is just an issue right now. And I know they can play a lot better. But Big T, man, it's been a while. We'll definitely talk soon, dude. Appreciate you coming into the stream, man. Joe says these refs were happy to throw the flags. Yeah, they were. They definitely were. Jetty Bell says I could see it's the amount of flags at the beginning of the Bikes game. Should have killed us. How the Magician says Sweat, Dickerson, and Cox are balling out. I mean, Cox had an okay game. He had a couple pressures. I thought Josh Sweat had a monster game. I thought Sweat had a really good game. You know what I mean? The rest of the D-line definitely helped. Graham got, I mean, there was a few times where we almost had Kirk. We were like close. We were this close. We had that 1 sack, and then we had 2 sacks. We had one by Cox. I think another one at the end of the game by obviously Josh Sweat. But BLG said I have Slavin, Cloran, Max, Samuel Bradbury on Dotson, and then Epps, Edwards, or Kaiser White. I could probably agree with that, man. I could probably agree. We'll see what happens, though. But he said, hell yeah, brother. Love chatting the birds. Yeah, definitely, dude. All the time, man. Haven't seen you in a while, but appreciate you coming in. 4K E. Demis says, would you be happy if Deshaun Jackson came back? No, I'm done. No. We are past the whole thing with bringing players that used to play here back. I'm just not into it anymore. Why would we need to bring in another receiver right now? It makes no sense for me. Yo, Jock, what's going on, dude? I hope you're having a good day, man. Jack McGough, what's going on, dude? He said, if we don't have sacks but have constant pressure, I'm okay with that. No, look, I just want pressure, because pressure, if you can get consistent pressure And look, I understand you're going to face good. I think the Vikings offensive line was very good. They had issues up the middle with, their center had some issues with getting a lot of pressure last game versus Green Bay. And the Eagles had to take advantage of that. And I thought there was good pressure in his face, which was great. This game coming up, I think you could do almost the same thing. I think you're going to find a way to get Carson on the ground a few times, get some pressures, because pressures turn into turnovers, regardless if you hit the quarterback or not. So, J. Bell said, Joey, if you had to guess how much of decent season tickets when they go on sale, about just wondering decent seats, I don't know. Like, I know box seats are like 8,000 like a season. Like they're pretty expensive. I buy tickets off of a couple that are season ticket holders, and they are really nice people, and we hang out with them all the time, and they give me tickets on a discounted rate. I can go to every home game if I wanted. I just don't, because I just don't have the time. I have to stream when I'm home and do some other things. But yeah, they're not cheap, man. They're not. I don't buy tickets online. I buy them from people that don't, no taxes, no nothing. So it's nice to have that luxury. But Jocks, at the NFL schedule, Eagles versus week 1, Deuce, 2 Rager, 3 Wentz, 4 Doug, 5 Ertz, 6 the damn Cowboys. Yeah, dude, we're facing some either some past Eagles or people that used to work with the Eagles. So, coaches. Doug coming back to Philly is going to be very emotional coming back to Philly. Like, he has not been in the link since he left after 2020. Like, it's going to be very emotional for him to walk into that stadium. He's going to get a standing ovation for Doug. Is going to get so much respect. I miss Doug Peterson. Don't get me. I really do. Like, I miss him I miss him coaching this team. Not only a great coach, but a really good person too. So I definitely miss Doug. There's no doubt. Jay said, I love D-Jax as a wide receiver coach. Joe says, pressure bust pipes. BLG says, Reddick needs to be in the D-line, not in coverage. We need the 23.5 sack and 2 season Hassan Reddick, not the coverage trash can Hassan Reddick. Yeah, he looks out of place. His coverage just doesn't look good. They did the same thing with Josh Sweat. They were putting him in coverage as well, but I'm not even liking that either. He did it with Arizona. He did it with the Panthers. Maybe with Gannon, he just doesn't know how to use them or put them in the right spot to make them successful. I mean, is that the truth? Is that what's going on here? I don't know, but we'll find out. Let me put the stream on my phone really quick because I forgot to do that. I forgot to do that. Okay, we're good. We're good to go. Sorry, I had to do that real quick because sometimes I miss some things and things just happen. Let's see. Chris got there. Our special team needs a serious upgrade. Our blocking on special teams has been horrendous. We scored on 3 drives, 84 yards, 82 yards, and 74 yards. If we shorten the field even by 10, that helps our offense. Yeah, teams are not going to kick it in the end zone. They know the Eagles have bad special teams. They're going to kick it between the 10 and the 20-yard line. Okay, and that's what's going to happen. We literally had the ball between the 10 and the 20 the whole entire game. Can't have that happen, man. Covey is still very raw right now, so I might give him till half the season to see what he could do. At least till week 8, something like that, to see if he could pull something off here. But I don't like Quez Watkins at kick returns. I can't stand him at kick returns. He's just not a kick returner. That's just the truth to it all. But special teams is garbage right now. Garbage. But as long as we don't muff a punt or a kick return, I am totally fine, right? For right now, for this special teams, at least try to stand up. Dave said Carson will crumble. He does not have the mental fortitude. I totally agree. I think he's going to be emotionally a mess in this game. Howie's the Magician says Cox was bringing the pressure. He was piercing the O-line real well. Eagle Slayer says DJ could have got a ring with the Rams, but a forced over release cause he didn't fit the Rams scheme. Yeah, and he still got a ring. They sent him a ring after that. He still got a Super Bowl ring, even when he told them to trade him. Went to the Raiders, and Derek Carr couldn't. Derek Carr missed him, I don't know how many times. So Howie says Cox Patricia was unmatched week 2. Big T says, do you have any out of left field pickup trades you think Howie will make before the deadline? He always seems to pick someone up that you don't expect before the deadline. Oh, that's a really good question. So trade deadline, what could they do? I could see Robert Quinn trade, maybe. I mean, it might make no sense. He's got a lot of, I mean, he's still on contract for another few years, and he's 32 years old. But there's already been rumors about Jason Pierre-Paul coming to the Eagles. He went to the Ravens. He's already visited the Ravens twice. He's left without a deal. It looks like the Chiefs and the Eagles have contacted Jason Pierre-Paul's camp to acquire Jason Pierre-Paul. I think the Eagles are trying to get more help on this defensive line, especially the edge. I think Jason Pierre-Paul is still a sign that it could happen between now and the trade deadline, or at least all season long, whatever the case may be, because free agents can sign whenever. I would try to pry something off of a practice squad or something for like a returner or somebody that had a good offseason or good, I don't know. They need to get a legit kick returner at least right now. And I would like to do that. Do I think a big move is going to happen? I think Howie Roseman might sell. I think Andre Dillard could be walking out the door, because you're not going to let Andre Dillard walk out the door for nothing. Okay. You're not going to pick up his 5th-year option for $12.5 million. So potentially Dillard, could be a big trade candidate for a draft pick, maybe a day 3 pick or something. So, I mean, who knows? We'll see what happens. But do I think a big move? No. I mean, with Chauncey Gardner-Johnson here, I thought maybe when Chauncey Gardner-Johnson wasn't here and how he didn't make the trade yet, I figured maybe a safety would be in play by the trade deadline. But as of right now, I can only say, I could say maybe a running back. I could say a bruiser back. I could say really, a bruiser back, or they trade Dillard for draft compensation, or they get a return guy, somebody that had a good preseason this year, or somebody that has a good amount of speed. So and a little bit of size. Well, we'll see. But I mean, that's really all I got right now. I don't think. I mean, Robert Quinn would definitely be Robert Quinn would be an interesting one with a few more years left on his deal. He is old. So I don't want Robert Quinn to replace a guy that we could draft next year. So, we'll see. But Philadelphia Eagles fan 6 we also play Ronnie McLeod. Oh, yeah, with the Colts. You're right. Howie Vision says, who doesn't love Doug? That's what I'm saying, man. Who doesn't love Doug? Gaz, I still respect Doug like crazy. I got absolutely nothing against him. Eagles says, the only coach that I've given the franchise chip. How could you not applaud the man? Joseph says, special teams are bad. They are pretty bad. Jesse Bell says, Carson will hurt himself soon. Give it time. Eagles Army Down Under said, what up, Joey? The defense plays the same way as last week. Wentz will have a bad day. He'll hold the ball too long, and our rush will get there. I have a big feeling that's going to happen. Oh, did he sign already? Oh, that sucks. I didn't see that news. Did he really sign already? Was this like today that it happened? Because did he really sign today? Oh. Yeah, I don't know. I thought I didn't see any news that he signed at all. I mean, I looked. I mean, that's weird. That's kind of weird. I didn't even see that. So that's kind of weird. All right, never mind on that then. Serious Dubs, I think we should give Covey a shot at wide receiver and put Boston Scott on punt returns. Boston Scott would be a really good addition to punt returns. You're probably right. I feel more comfortable. But I mean, I really don't even like Kenneth Gainwell on kick returns, to be honest with you. Like we haven't had a good return since Josh Huff. We haven't had a good punt return since Darren Sproles, obviously. Even what's his name in 2017? I said his name the other day. The punt returner for the Eagles in 2017. He made some good plays at punt return that year. What the hell is his name? I totally forgot his name. I said it like a couple days ago. I mean, look, Boston Scott is not going to Kenyon Barner. Sorry, it's Kenyon Barner. Kenyon Barner was pretty good too on the punt returns, which I did like. So, let's see. Aaron says, if they stop dropping Reddick back, we would need help at the edge. That's totally true. Tyler says, D Ford is available if healthy, or D-line depth. Yeah, I wouldn't mind. I totally forgot about D Ford being a free agent. I think D Ford would be very realistic. Joe said, yep, JP signed with the Ravens. I didn't even see that. It's so weird how I didn't see that. I'm usually on top of this crap. Howie the Magician says, sounds crazy, but I would love to see Cam Jurgens as a running back for one play. He literally mauls dudes. Yeah, he's very good, man. It makes me nervous that he's just sitting for the whole year. You know what I mean? Like, I don't like a guy that produced so much in the preseason. I think the best player in preseason was Cam Jurgens. Okay. Obviously, we trade for AJ Brown, so I have to say Cam Jurgens would be the one that really produced like the highest out of all of our. I mean, I think every rookie had an impact in preseason. There's no doubt about it. I thought Cam Jurgens really benefited. And for him to sit all year really it just hurts me a little bit. I mean, I don't think it affects him that much, but I don't like to see a guy that produced so much just sit the whole year. The Eagles there still want Kareem Hunt at the deadline, perhaps. Yeah, I mean, it could be. Kareem Hunt could be a possibility. I mean, if the Browns are looking bad by the trade deadline, week 9, and they're feeling like our season's pretty much done, let's try to make some moves and try to. If the Eagles want Kareem Hunt, let's try to. I think it's only going to cost like a day 3 pick for Kareem Hunt. I don't think it's going to cost much. Like same thing when the Eagles got Jay Ajayi in 2017, but they got Jay Ajayi for a 4th round pick, and that was a crazy steal. I mean, that running back room was crazy because legitimately, like the Eagles never, you don't, especially now, like you really don't use 4 running backs on the roster, but the Eagles, man, they didn't care. I mean, Kenyon Barnes didn't really run the ball too much. He was mostly a special teamer, but if he had to get into games, he could. Terry Dubs, how about Devin Hester, Dante Hall, and punt returns? Rob says Wentz is going to run on us when the pocket collapsing. He wants the ball out on us real bad. We cannot make that happen. Give him no escape route. Yeah, because we from Kirk Cousins is not a runner. You automatically know that. But when it comes down to it, Wentz could run. We know Wentz can get a lot of yards, so you have to get him to the ground. How the Magician says Cam Jurgens would be the dude who really easily get us 1 yard if we need it. Jeff says not or should not all fall on the return, either kickoff or punt. You need to look at the other 10 supposed. Yeah, I mean, look, the blockers are definitely I mean, I don't like Michael Clay as our special teams guy. I think they need to get rid of him and get somebody else in here. I don't like Michael Clay. I don't like how he's been running special teams, especially last year, giving Rager all those chances for on punt returns, as well as being a receiver. Michael Clay's got to go. I don't like the vibe I'm getting from Michael Clay and the special teams unit. JJ Bosa, I love that pick of Gardner Johnson picking off Brady and running up to him. Such attitude. Love it. Oh, yeah, he's got that swagger, man. He talks a lot of crap, dude. When we made that trade for him, it was great. And look, has he really popped out too much? No, I mean, he just got to this team not too long ago. What? Another, he's been on the team for a couple weeks, but, it's just got to get more acclimated, and I think he's going to be a really good player for us. So Eagle Slayer says, Doug the Ice Cream Man. Yo, Twan, what's going on, dude? What's going on, man? Jesus Fred says, get D-Jack for special teams. Yeah, he ain't coming back just to be a special teamer. It's definitely not happening. He ain't going to he ain't going to come back just for that reason. So it says, yeah, JP signed. That sucks, dude. How did I not see this news? He got $5.5 million. They could have paid that. Remo says Covey hasn't gotten that many returnable kicks yet. The kicks have been mostly, I wouldn't say that. I think there were at least 2 of them that were returnable. I think, but how much space are you looking for? Like, if he's got like 6-7 yards of space, he could get it done. I don't see why he can't. How much space does he need? That's why he's so fast. That's why he takes that lateral step. He hesitates. He reminds me of Rager. He just hesitates before when the ball gets to him, and he takes that side step. He tries to go around and really go north and south, which there's nothing wrong about trying to go around, but he's been trying to do that every time, and I think he's kind of suffered because of it. I give him more time, but Devin Allen's another guy I'm kind of looking at in the practice squad. Say maybe they bring him up this week. Maybe at the halfway point of the season, bring him up on punt returns, see what he could do. So, Jay says Jeremy Bloom. Remember that clown? Oh Jesus, yes, yes. How I admitted just Jordan Davis on punt returns would be scary. King said I think Wentz shows up, Washington defense won't be able to stop the Eagles' offense. So Wentz shows up and plays well. I can't see him playing that good. I think he's going to have an okay game, but I don't think he's going to play that well. Big T, what's going on? I said my guess for a more luxury pick is Howie taking a swing at running back. Not that we need one with productive or rushing offenses, but I could see how Howie put in all the chips. Maybe Hunt, Jacobs, Akers. Yeah, I've made videos on Akers from the Rams. Jacobs could be a possibility. Hunt's definitely a big possibility. So we'll see. I mean, down the road, I still would like a bruiser back. They would have traded for Trey Sermon. They got him off waivers, and They still haven't activated him for a game yet, which I don't know why. If they were going to trade for him, which I figured, okay, if they want to trade for him so badly and they ended up getting him off waivers, I figured that they're going to put him in some games because they really want him to play that badly with this rotation. But I guess not, I guess not. However, it's crazy how we have 2 first-rounders. Dude, I'm telling you, it's fantastic. And you know what? I would trade another first-round pick back this year. Just think of it. Trade another first-round pick back this year, going to next year, obviously. Trade that first-round pick and trade it back and get more picks for 2024. This way, in 2024, you'll have 2 first-rounders and 2 second-rounders. I would do it. I would keep the ball rolling, having 2 first-round picks every year. Howie made some legitimate. The Eagles-Saints trade was a fleece. Getting A.J. Brown from the Titans. Look at the Titans right now. You see what the Titans look like in 2 weeks? Oh, my God. The Giants, they got beat by the Giants, and I figured the Titans just had a really bad game, but holy crap. I understand Buffalo's not a cakewalk, but Jesus Christ. It was just insane. Yo, GG, what's going on, dude? We got Daryl. He says Cam will probably get some reps later this season if we're blowing teams out, save Kelsey for the playoffs. Yeah, maybe we'll see. We'll see if they want to make that decision. Depending when we kind of lock up. If we can win the division early, it would be nice to have some rest for some of the older veterans. Bill says Cam Jurgens sitting on the new year would have been the same story if Eagles would have gotten Tyler Linderbaum. Yeah, it wouldn't have mattered regardless because Kelsey was still here. So, Howie the Magician says Cam Jurgens would be freaking Derrick Henry. Gigi says, "What up, my guy?" Marvin Sides said the Eagles need a pass rush by the deadline. I think that's probably one of the biggest moves we need. I think we need an extra pass rusher. There's no doubt about it. Joe says we need to get Joey to do the gritty. I don't even know how to do it. I've seen it in Fortnite a million times when I've played, but other than that, I don't know if I could do it. GG. Gelman Culture, what's going on, dude? He said, Wentz cannot run. Dude has been immobile ever since he tore his ACL. Yeah, well, you know what? I think part of it was he lost a lot of weight. When he got to the Colts, he definitely lost a lot of weight. He looked a lot more thinner when he got with the Colts, and he didn't look that bad. I don't think he looks like 2017 Carson. I think he looks slower than that, but I still think he's still athletic. I don't think he's that immobilized, but Philadelphia Eagles fan 6, we should put Jordan Davis at kick return. Hey, look, if you want to do that, and let's do it. Howie says Jordan Davis's kick return would induce PTSD. I want to see how many guys it takes to tackle him. That's really it. There's going to be guys on his back. There's going to be guys choking him, a guy on his back. It's going to be nuts. Gigi says, Joey, this game tonight is boring. I don't know if it's the teams playing or the broadcast. Yeah, I was watching a little bit, and I was like, not really into it. Joe says, we're going to eventually have to flip the field. Philadelphia Eagles fan 6, I think we should put Howie at kick returner. However, it says Jordan Howard would be nice. Yeah, I don't know. Look, Jordan Howard, Latavius Murray is still a free agent. Both of those running backs are still out there, so I don't know what they're doing. I would bring Jordan Howard back because I think he'll just be cheap, and if he gets hurt, you just get rid of him. That's it, G said we need another defensive end. Trust me, I know. You got D Ford still out there. You can trade for Robert Quinn if you want. But I don't know what they want from him. For the 32-year-old, but he had, 17 and a half, 18 and a half sacks last year, and, I think he would definitely help. Jock said they can only bring up Covey one more time, then have to put him on the roster. Oh, okay. Oh, so you can only put. I totally forgot about the rule. So you only put Covey up, so he can only do it. So he'll probably be brought up one more time. So what? So if he's brought up one more time, then they can't put him at practice squad the week after for the Jaguars. They have to put him on the roster, or can they put him at practice squad still? You're telling me they have to do it. Seriously, dude, my phone's dying. Hopefully you'll be on a bit longer so I can charge my phone, give it a little juice. See you soon. All right, bro. Have a good time, man. I totally get it. Wherever you are. JB, honestly, I do not think we need any huge changes. I like our team now. Not worried about the commies. No, I'm not either, really. I'm not saying I'm going to take them lightly, but I'm just saying, that's just a stepping stone for us to get through another team this week. I don't care about the Wentz stuff. I hope we bury the crap out of him and kind of shut him up until we play him at the Link Monday night. It's going to be crazy. Eagles said Wentz will never be that fast again. Can't run when you have no legs. Yeah, well, that's true. I want him to be legless. I want him to be walking on nubs, after this game this Sunday. Sticky Dog Hopkins says Jordan Davis, the next refrigerator Perry. Rob over 9,000 says, yo, Will Anderson Jr. out from Alabama should be our top priority. Yeah, but the problem is we're going to have to make a trade up. We're going to have to make a trade up to go get him because there's no way the Eagles are going to be able in the right position to go get Will Anderson next year. It's not going to happen. Remo says, yeah, does Yannick Ngakoue have anything left? If the Colts continue to suck, might be worth the late round pick. Yannick, I don't know. I wouldn't. I don't know. As of right now, I probably wouldn't. He's been the team. I just he was with Jaguars, then it was the Raiders, then I don't know. It was the Vikings, and he's been to like 4 other teams. The Eagles says they would laugh and hang up the phone. For what? Oh, a trade for Saquon? No, I wouldn't even make that trade. I think he'd play fantastic here. I think Saquon will probably be one of the leading. I think Saquon Barkley would be probably a top 5 running back this year if he's with the Eagles. Like, no joke. I think he would be fantastic. But Jocks, I think Covey goes through waivers. Interesting. Yeah, look, I'd give him to like half the. I mean, if they can only if he's got one more chance, then they got to put him to the raw. I don't know. Like my plan was at least have him for half the year and see what he could do, then keep him on practice squad. Somebody could pick him up. Chubb goes over 100 yards. JB said, I lost it when the stadium booed Rager. He almost hated it as much as Wentz. I was watching from the when I was at the game, the first time he got on as punt returner and he was like waving the crowd, egging the crowd on. As soon as he like got tackled and went nowhere with that punt return, he went to the sideline and he was so pissed off. Like he went up to another player and he was just really pissed. I was watching him the whole time running back to the sideline. It was funny. Joe said, we need the Saints to lose every game. Philadelphia Eagles fan 6 said, I'd trade for Saquon if I was Howie. Said Barkley would have 1,500. I wouldn't say 1,500 yards, but he'd be a top 5 running back this year. You get Barkley on the Eagles, it's kind of crazy. It's kind of crazy. But Rob says, remember we got Sermon and Kennedy Brooks in the wing later in the season. Yeah, I mean, Kennedy Brooks, like he was undrafted from Oklahoma, but I really wanted to see, I want to see more from Brooks. Like, did he do enough for me this preseason? Probably not. He probably didn't do enough for me to say that he should have a spot as a number 4 running back. So, but he didn't. So it is what it is. Big T says, I believe if the Eagles do keep both of their first-round picks, they'll use one, a luxury pick to take Bijan Robinson. Hate getting running backs in the first round, but he's got Saquon out of college hype. Yeah, I've heard a lot of rumors about him being that good and being close to Saquon. I've heard a lot of that talk. So I'm not a fan of taking a running back in the first round. That's just me. I don't think that's the way they want to go because they don't want to pay a running back big money. Like, are they going to draft a running back in the first round that only have him for 4 years with a 5th-year option? I don't know. I just don't like getting running backs in the first round. With this offensive line for the next decade, you really don't need to pay a running back or draft one high and pay them. You get somebody that just as a mid-tier productive player, I think that's all you're going to need. You might turn to the Patriots in the future with this running back core because you're going to be letting go of some players and just putting running backs in. I mean, I think that's all you're going to really be doing in the next few years. I don't know. Miles Sanders is off a contract year now, so I'm kind of preparing myself. Miles Sanders is not going to be here. If they give him a deal, I'll kind of be shocked, to be honest. I'll actually be kind of shocked if he's here. Gentleman Coach says, "Do you think we're the best team in the entire NFC right now?" I think we're very close. I do. I mean, Tampa looks horrible. The Rams, I don't like how the Rams look. I mean, I think they're pretty close. I think they could be like the second to third best in the NFC. No joke. I think the Eagles, if they play like how they did Monday night and they play this consistent, they could go really far this year. They can go really, really far. Big T said only if we keep 2 picks, though. Yeah, well, that's if they can keep 2 picks while doing that, sure. Seriously said, what's good, Shakes? We're destined for greatness. Yes, we are. JB said, what are your thoughts on Sanders? I feel like no one talks about him because of Hurts. No, I like him. Like, I think he's playing really well, but I just don't think he's going to be here next year. Like, I'm preparing myself that Miles Sanders is not going to be here next year, and it sucks. Like, I wish I was really pissed off how they didn't run with him in 2020. They barely ran with him in 2020 with Doug. 2021 came along, and Nick had 100% of the play calling, and he barely ran through the first quarter of the season with him, and then he ended up getting hurt twice, and then he was almost out for 3 weeks, and they gave him all the reps in that wild card game, and he looked horrible. I mean, the whole team looked horrible. It was a really bad playoff game. So we know the rest. We know the rest of the way with that. So I'm preparing myself that Miles Sanders is not going to be here after this year, which really sucks because he's playing really well right now, and love Miles, and I just love his. I mean, there were times even in that Vikings game where he would kind of jump cut to the left, and then there was nothing there. He jump cut to the right, change direction, and just get a first down. I mean, he plays with toughness. Reminds me of being a bruiser back as well because, man, he gets some extra yards with his power that he runs with, which is great. Isaiah says, Brian is Derrick Henry and Barkley combined. B-Ron. Damn, really? Man. Joe says Sanders won't be here next year. Probably not. Philadelphia Eagles fan 6. Joey, did you see that Covey was denied access to the player parking lot Monday? Yeah, I saw the news on that. I thought that was funny. So he's hanging out. He was hanging out with he's not known in Philadelphia. He's not known in Philadelphia. You go through the toll booth or whatever they go through past security, to get into the stadium, to get to the players and stuff. And they don't know him. He's just not well known. Like, he looks like a college. He looks like he's out of college, or he looks like he's just a fan at the game. That's what he looks like. You know what I mean? It's a stereotype, but that's what he looks like. He just looks like some kid at the game, So I thought it was pretty funny. Mayor said, what up, Joey? What's going on, Mayor? What's going on, dude? He said, hey, what's up, Butterfingers? Butterfingers? What the hell does that mean? Rob over not doubt says Sanders should be gone next season regardless. He's not a power runner. He's like to avoid hits too many times. Yeah, I mean, because you're going to last a lot longer as a running back if you can make guys miss. And I think Sanders does make guys miss, which he's going to have a longer career that way. But when he runs with fire in his eyes, he runs with fire in his eyes. And that's all that matters. JJ Vargas says Wentz throws 2 picks, 1 pick 6. I'm calling it now. And I can agree with that. It could happen. I could agree with that. We have 124 in the chat right now. We've been on for an hour and 7 minutes already. I appreciate it so much, guys. You guys haven't subscribe to the channel. Like the stream if you guys haven't either. Check out the memberships in the pinned comment. We're going to be streaming the game this week. We're going to be doing a lot this week. We're going to have some videos out tomorrow. We're going to have a stream on Saturday early, and then we'll have the Philly Shakedown Saturday night on Philly 500's channel. And then Sunday, we'll be doing 3 streams pretty much the whole entire day. So it should be a lot of fun and hopefully become 3-0. Jay says, your new name is Butterfingers because you have slippery heads. Pause. What? What's going on? I'm kind of confused right now. Regis Terrell Bear says, Joey, go look at Bunny's Bunny. I'm sorry. I can't read stuff today. So go to B. John's highlights before you decide to use the high pick or not. I understand, but I would do it, and I hate that idea. I'm going to look at his highlights. I'll look at him tonight because I'll have nothing else to do later tonight. So I will definitely look at that, see what you guys are talking about. Saquon Barkley and Derrick Henry in one. That seems pretty dangerous. We'll find out when I look at it here. Hit the like button. Appreciate it so much, Joe. Yeah, it's Sunday is going to be nuts. Like I think the Commanders are just a stepping stone for us. Hurts is all about business. Nothing else is going to matter, and we're going to play very, very well. I have a good feeling about it. I really do. Good feeling. Jock says, Joey, who do you want to win Monday night? I don't know, man. I really don't want the Giants to be getting to 4-0. I don't know. I think the Giants are just coached up really well, even if they don't have the best players out there. I think coach wise, I have to give the Giants respect because I think their coaching staff is great. Brian DeBall and having Kafka as the offensive coordinator. Martindale, that was a longtime Ravens defensive coordinator. I think they have a fantastic coaching staff as of right now. So, I mean, we'll see. Like, I think the Cowboys might pull this off. We'll find out. But It'd be nice if the Cowboys could lose this game, but at the same time, it's tough. I don't know because I don't want. I think in the long run the Giants aren't going to contend for anything. I think they face two really bad teams. The Titans I thought were better on paper, but they are really really bad and they're playing very bad, and they're having a lot of injuries. And I think both teams are pretty bad right now between the Cowboys and the Giants. The Cowboys would get a win against. The Cowboys get a win against the Bengals. The Bengals do not look the same. The Bengals couldn't block. They couldn't do anything. They didn't progress in that game at all. And the Dallas defense is good. Don't get me wrong, but and even with Cooper Rush in there, like he had really good protection despite having the offensive line issues. They're trying to get Cooper Rush to at least win a few games before Dak comes back. But I think when Dak comes back, I think everything's going to fall apart. I think everything's going to fall apart. I think they're going to be a pass-happy offense with Dak coming back, and they're going to go back to the normal ways of losing this year. And I think that's what's going to happen. I think they're going to that's what's going to happen. So that's just the issue right now. Hold on one second. I have to get to. You should do vlogs to when you go to the games. I don't really do vlogs. Like I record a couple things when I was at the game. So when you're doing the shakedown early morning. No, the shakedown, we're going to have a shakedown Saturday night on Philly 500's channel. Then Sunday, we're going to have it on my channel post game, like late Sunday night. So. JMB says, besides any NFC East rivals, what team do you hate the most besides the Eagles? Which teams do you love? I don't know, man. Like hate. I don't like the Saints. I don't like the Vikings. Other than the NFC East. That's really it. I mean, I don't really hate any other teams that much, really, to be honest with you. Teams that I love. I don't know. I've never really been asked that question, a team that I love. I mean, I love one team and that's it. It's hard for me to say what other teams do I love. I really don't even have an answer for that. I love this team like they're my kids. You know what I mean? I don't don't kids, but if they were my kids, it'd be this team. Here's says starting our defensive fantasy this week against Wentz. Regis says, I wouldn't say that, but I think he's going to be unbelievable. B said, Bijan will slip mid first just because running backs aren't valued in the first like they used to, but he is Saquon Penn State good, if not better right now. Wow. Eagles says Giants are a fluke. I think they are. I think how many teams go 2-0? And look, it's the same as us right now. How many teams go 2-0, 3-0? Look, the Panthers went 3-0 last year. The Panthers went 3-0 last year, and we beat and we were in a dogfight in that game, but they weren't good. You know what I mean? Like it doesn't matter. Like early in the season, the Eagles are 2-0 right now, but it could turn around real fast. We're not safe from anything right now. Eagles have got to play their butts off this week. Remel Jones said, I hope it isn't a dumb question, but why don't you and Philly stream together during the game? It's mostly just because of just well, it's because of channels and monetization, and we do our own things that day just because of just our channels, and that's really the only reason why we do it separately. And then we come back for a post game together. That's probably the reason. It's the reason why we really don't do it. When you're a content creator and this is a fun part-time job for me, you got to do everything yourself on really important days, which Philly does his own thing on game day. I do my own thing on game day. Everybody does their own thing on game day. That's why we don't stream together. That's why the Philly Shakedown is made, because we want to come together, pause after the game and talk about just what has happened and stuff. So here's the other side. I want the Giants to win, leave the Cowboys dead last. Big D says, that's why if we do have two picks, I'd using one for him. If he's there, would make our rushing offense elite. Joe says, Giants have a good coaching staff. They do. Rob over 9,000 says, I like Covey because he hasn't hurt the team. He has great hands, and just give him more time to feel. Yeah, I feel like he just needs more time, dude. Like, that's all I've been saying. Like, I'm not trying to kick Covey out of there right now, but he just needs more time. That's just the truth. Eagle Slayer says, I think the Rams and Bengals both missed the playoffs. Tell me, Culture, how many more weeks does Hurts need to play at this level to solidify him being the franchise QB? Or you're already sold? I'm not sold just yet. I would give him till like week 8 to 9. I'd give him between weeks 8 to 9. I think that's when we're going to find out if he's going to be the guy or not. By that time, I think he's going to be the guy. I do. So we'll see. Definitely. I mean, from one game or from 2 games, I'd say, one game where I thought the Detroit game, he was great, but AJ Brown was the only receiver he was throwing to. And the Vikings game, the distribution of the football was just perfect. It was fantastic. Big D said, when you watch the highlights and fall in love with Bijan, you could give me a shout out when you make a fit. I got you. I promise I will. I will not forget it, Big D, because you're the one that brought him up. So I will definitely shout you out. I will shout you out. Jocks, if Dak comes back, he sucks. There will be a QB. Yeah, I think there will be a QB problem. And just say if Cooper Rush wins these next couple games before Dak comes back, and Dak starts coming in and starts screwing up, the problem is they can't put Cooper Rush in there. If Dak is healthy, ready to go, they're paying him a lot of money right now. They can't afford to put Cooper Rush on the field. Jay Jones, the Commanders signed Nick Martin center for Sunday, if you were wondering. Yeah, so weren't they out a center this week? And Nick Martin's what? Is Nick Martin anybody? Probably not if he's a free agent right now. JB said, I only love the Eagles, but I also really like the Dolphins and Chargers. I hate the Saints and Steelers, though. Joe said, how do you feel about Gann after the last game? I felt really good. I think there's got to be a little bit more consistent pressure, but I thought he played a really good game. He didn't take his foot off the pedal. He just kept going. And I don't know what changed this week, but Howie Roseman must have had a big sit-down with Nick and Gannon this past week after that Detroit game. There's no way that Gannon left that Detroit game unscathed and he wasn't bothered by the front office about how this defense was playing. Howie Roseman has literally gave Gannon a brand new defense this year, pretty much. And Howie's not going to let that go to waste. So I thought Gannon can Gannon be consistent? That's going to be the next question in the coming weeks. So we'll see. Eagles says exactly, and they lost 21 straight dating back to last season. Jock says, Joey, I thank you for pausing after. Yeah, we got to pause after that. D. Garner, 20s Evans says Carson Wentz said the Eagles defense is not exotic. Exotic. How do you feel about that? I don't know. I don't know why he's talking crap. All he's doing right now is creating bulletin board material for the Eagles to use. That is the perfect time to do it. If that's what he said, I didn't watch the whole thing, but I'm actually gonna go back and watch it because I want to make a video for tomorrow. There were some other things I'm kind of looking for. That's what I'm kind of looking for in those press conferences. So if he thinks the Eagles are not going to do anything, I don't know. The team is going to find out about that. It's going to be a long day. Derek said, do you think Wentz deserves to be booed by Philly? Yeah, probably. Yeah, he will be booed. How is he not going to be booed? Of course he's going to be booed. I don't think he's going to be. He comes to Philadelphia in November? He comes to Philadelphia for Monday Night Football. They're not gonna cheer for him. Are you kidding me? He's on Washington. It's not like he's on another team. He's in a division rival now. So Chubb says, I'm sold. Paige Young. Carlton Roberts says, who do you want to see in the Super Bowl and who win and why? I want us to be in the Super Bowl against the Bills. That's what I really want. But I'm not saying Super Bowl, but I'm just saying if you're going to give me a choice, I'm going to pick my team against the Buffalo Bills in the Super Bowl. JC says we bring the pressure all game and blitz, and the game is over. Yeah, I totally agree. Eagles say, yo, for real, though, I don't know if I want to go to Dallas or Wentz return to Philly because my broke ass can't afford. Yeah, it's expensive, dude. It's really expensive to go to a game. It's not cheap. It's not cheap. I mean, I paid about $200 for my seats. And that's without tax. So I would have paid, if I paid for $200 seats, I'd be paying almost $300, probably $270, $280 for a seat. No joke. I get them from people, so I get a little bit of a discount on them. But the home opener is, the home opener is always expensive because it's the home opener, obviously. Depending if the Eagles are playing good, they're playing bad, the prices vary, If the Eagles don't sell enough tickets or they're not selling enough seats or not putting enough bodies in those seats, they're going to put the prices down to get more bodies in the seats to make some sort of money if they can. Jock says Nick Martin is Zach Martin's from Dallas's brother. I did not know that. Remo says they asked Hurts if Wentz helped him out at all as a teammate. when he was there, and Hurts basically said no comment. Oh God. That is some funny stuff. Joe said, Bills versus Eagles in the Papa Super Bowl pick right now. Yeah, that's what everybody's talking about. Nate says, yo, Joe, I appreciate the work you put in, man. You're passionate about your birds and dig it, bro. Keep up the great content. Nate, thank you so much, man. I hope you stay around, man, because there's definitely a lot more season left, and appreciate you jumping on board, man. Appreciate it so much. We got Jake. He says at some point Wentz will turn the ball over multiple times. I think he's going to, because he wants to beat the Eagles so bad, I think Wentz is going to put himself over the team and he's going to play hero ball. And that's where the turnovers are going to happen. That's where the turnovers are going to happen. I'm telling you. Carlin says, true, the Eagles win. True, and Eagles win the Super Bowl. Gentleman coach says, want to hear an unpopular opinion? Milton Williams is a better option over Fletch. Yeah, I mean, we'll see, man. Like I thought he showed a lot. I thought he flashed really well last year. I don't really know how he's been playing the past couple games, but we'll see. Chubb said, I got tickets for Eagles versus Steelers predictions for that game. I mean, I think the Steelers defense is pretty good. I mean, depending on who's a quarterback by that time, because I don't like Mitchell Trubisky at all. I still think he's bad. I don't think he's good at all. I don't think he's going to last with the Steelers. Unless they put him back, I don't know. But I think they win that game. I think they win against the Steelers, no doubt. That's after the bye week, obviously. So Michael Flagg says, hit the like, everyone. Thank you so much, man. He says, it's very true. I'll be grateful just being in the nosebleeds. I don't like the close seats at all. I can't stand the close seats because the closer you are, the more ground level you are. It's hard to watch a game at ground level because you're watching everything from the bottom of where the players are, and you can't see a damn thing. You'll be looking at the Titantron the whole entire time. So I was in 225. I was in section 225, and I love those seats because I could see the whole field. You're not seeing ants, you're seeing a lot. It's not like you're going to WrestleMania or, it's a different story. You know what I mean? Like you see everything. Where I was looking, I could see who's open. I could see who's getting pressure. I mean, it's easy to see so much when you're further up. I think 225, I was at 225, 50-yard line. Perfect. Right there. Perfect. T-Dog said, please don't underestimate the Commanders at home. We do remember what Carson is capable of, correct. We have seen him at his worst and seen him at his best. He will try to ball out someday. No, there's no doubt about it. I'm not saying he's not going to have, I'm not saying he's going to have a bad game. He might get his passes in here and there, but I think the Eagles are going to find his weakness. I think they're going to exploit it, and I think they're going to tear him down. I'm not taking the Commanders lightly. I want to beat the crap out of them this Sunday. I'm not trying to say he's going to have the worst game of the year, but if Wentz is talking, if he's doing way too much talking this week, I'm telling you right now, this defense is already going to win against him. So, Joseph says, Eagles blow out Steelers. Weezy says, go Birds regardless. 100%, dude. 100%. JC says, notice how healthy we are entering week 3. Well, yeah, let's, knock on wood there. Mike says, I'm not sure where I stand on that. I like guys being good teammates, but I don't exactly think I like training my replacement. If I was Wentz's shoes, I'd have been upset with the Hurts pick too. Yeah, I mean, I think regardless of how we feel about Jalen Hurts, I think we can all agree that pick was not a good pick. At that time, it was a bad pick, and we knew that there was going to be a quarterback controversy. Why would you draft a quarterback in the second round where a lot of people were saying Jalen Hurts should have went in the 4th round? But Jalen Hurts was drafted by the Philadelphia Eagles to be the backup quarterback. That was the whole reason for drafting him. Drafting him in the second round wasn't for a quarterback controversy, which ended up happening. Drafting him in the second round was him to become the backup for Wentz for a long time. That was the plan, but now Jalen Hurts is kind of proving the doubters wrong. Okay. And yeah, I think he is. Proved me wrong this Monday night. I didn't think he would have that much of a crazy game. I didn't think he would. I mean, the throwing motion, the way he puts that spiral, the arch on that ball, the way he threw just looked very poised. It just looked different than last year. Especially when he threw so much too, which was great. Carl said, because Josh Allen will be pressured a lot, and Slay shut Diggs down, and Bradbury and Davis, they run game week. Bills DBs don't scare me. They linebackers and DL good. Lane, Bully, Von Miller again. Nate says it's too early to tell, but I think we got the Steelers. Mike says, but I'm happy with the outcome. We got lucky with a fast turnaround. Eagles Slayer says the 50-yard line, John, are the best seats for me personally. The red zone section is legit. I sat all the way up in the end zone, strictly in the end zone. It was for the Deshaun Jackson coming to Philly. It was Deshaun Jackson coming to Philly when he was a Washington Redskin at the time, and that game was great. That was with the Chris Baker hit on Nick Foles and the fight that happened, and Jason Peters being kicked out of the game, disqualified out of the game. I mean, that game was great. I had end zone seats at that time. I had end zone seats, and those seats were really not bad. They really weren't too bad. Derek Stevens 11 says Hurts going to throw for 300 plus yards this Sunday. Look, if he does, great. If he doesn't, I'm not going to make a big deal about it. If he throws for 240, 250, I'm not going to make a big deal. Depending on the matchups and what these passes and the Vikings didn't give the Eagles any pressure. No, if they weren't giving pressure, they didn't. They just couldn't do it. And then no spy on Jalen Hurts. I mean, they were legit afraid. They were legit did not want to blitz or try to get a guy. There's way too many weapons. You got to pick your poison with the Eagles offense because you can't double anybody in this offense. You just can't. Pseudo Not says Wentz has never been a trash talker. He's always been kind of quiet. So if he's talking, our defense will crush him. Carlton said, but if it's only week 2, I'll focus the Commanders. Go. Gentlemen coach said this might be the first time in Eagles history where our DBs are better than the D-line. Dude, we are so lucky to have big play Slay. James Bradbury coming in as a number 2. He's made plays week 1 with the pick 6. He made plays. I mean, he's been fantastic. He's only allowed like 30-something yards in 2 weeks. I mean, that's it. I mean, Bradbury gave up over 800 yards last season with the Giants defense. And then 2 years ago, he was a Pro Bowler. So Bradbury is playing lights out. Lights out. No joke. He is killing it. So proud of Bradbury. He showed it in practice and training camp, the joint practice. He did a really good job. But man, I was like, I'm hoping this could, I hope this could transform into the NFL, going into the these real games, and hopefully Bradbury is not all hyped up for nothing. But man, Bradbury is playing really friggin' good. Jock said, I heard the Eagles drafted. Hurts in the second because Dallas was going to draft him in the third. I don't know if that's true, but Miles said, I've never understood why people have been so hard on Hurts and young QBs in general. These guys need time. No, I totally agree with that. Look, like I'm willing to give him a chance. I gave him a chance. We had to play him last year because, he was a starting quarterback. He's only played a year and a half. He's only played 2 games this year, but before the season started this season, he only played a year and a half of football. Josh Allen didn't get good until like his 3rd year. And when they started putting weapons around him, then he got really good. You know what I mean? So it takes time. Every quarterback's different. Hurts, I think, especially when, Hurts has never had the same coach every single year, or, usually a different offensive scheme, or even in college, it was kind of the same way. It was always different with new coaches and new people around him. Not says, I got tickets to the Arizona game, visitor side, 5th row from the front between goalie and bench. Well, dude, I hope you have a great time, man. Rob says, if Jalen could take us 5-1 or 6-0, the front office should be contacting his agent so he can continue to stay focused and keep building in the right direction, get an elite tight end, and revamp the running back core. Totally agree. Monroe Hatcher, what's going on, dude? DJ Forbes says, to be honest, I don't like Wentz, but I respect him now for owning up to saying he wasn't the best teammate. Yeah, that really questioned me. I did that in my car. If you guys didn't check my Carson Wentz video, check it out. I was really confused, okay? I was really, really confused on that statement that he wishes he was a better person and a better teammate. I didn't get that whole thing, and I don't know why. I just didn't get it, why that was even said. Like, was he a piece of garbage on this team? What happened? Like, I don't even know what the whole the thing with that was. George, I hope Eagles resign Hurts. I just know he ain't ever getting a ring. Why? Then why are you resigning him then? If you don't think he can win a Super Bowl, then why are you resigning him? Like, if this man can't get a Super Bowl for us, or he can't be as good to get a Super Bowl for us, then why are you going to resign him? You're not resigning him to be just good and to win the division every single year. You're signing this quarterback to big money because you think he could get us to the promised land. That's where it makes sense. He goes there. I had end zone seats for the Panthers Monday night game when Sproles had a sensational punt return. Nate says it was Howie vision. I think he saw how Wentz mental was, and he had to use a second round pick for Hurts just in case it started to pay off. Eagles there says that was a fun year besides missing the playoffs. Ziggy Dog says, how long has the Eagles owned the Vikings? 24-7. Soul Music says our secondary, the Philly triangle, throw into it at your own risk. Chubb says, Joey, how do you feel about Skip Bayless hyping up Hurts? I don't even really watch him, to be honest. I don't even care what he has to say. Yeah, he's been a big Hurts lover. I tell you that much. Well, it says Hurts season. What's going on, man? Jason, what's going on, dude? What's up, Joey? Sorry I'm late. Rough day, but I hope you're doing well. But I can't wait for our defense to shut Wentz the fuck up. Yeah, dude, I'm pumped. I'm ready to go. And dude, if you had a bad day, I'm sorry, man. I trust me, I've had plenty of bad days, but I hope your day is getting a lot better tonight. So I hope it is. Jock says Josh Allen didn't get good till he got Diggs. Eagles got AJ Brown. Well, that's what I mean. Like once they put better weapons around Allen, then sure. Monroe said we're gonna rip RIP the Commanders because I'm a division. Oh, okay, I get it now. Okay, so you're just talking crap. It's okay. I just wanted to know, you'll sign him, but you're not getting a ring. I'm like, okay, well, why the hell are you saying that? Jordan a troll. It's all good. I welcome the trolls. Nate said, trust your confusion. Didn't get along with players or coaches. Prima donna, North Dakota's boy better. The rest of the league. Plus, remember when Malcolm Jenkins, after the year after he left the Eagles, remember he said, I think he was at the Super Bowl on some type of interview or something. Remember Malcolm Jenkins said that they caressed Carson Wentz's ego. Remember that? Remember Malcolm said they were caressing his ego. They were just letting him get away with bad play, and they were just tapping him on the shoulder, and he just goes to the sideline. They didn't reprimand Carson Wentz for bad play whatsoever. Carson Wentz got away with a lot of crap. Got away with a lot of stuff in Philly. Miles says, we're going to rip Commanders' heads off. Oh, rip their heads off. Okay. I got you. Seriously, I'm a diehard Eagles fan residing in Tampa. I'll be at the Bucks versus Chiefs game on the 2nd of October. End zone seats, Fly Eagles fly all day long. You better wear your jersey and rep that stuff over there, man. You better rep it. You better rep it over there, bro. Nate said Wentz probably knows that he could have had it really good right now. But mentally, the psyche, man, that's where he's weak, man. I would have loved to have Carson Wentz, his skill set in Jalen Hurts, and having that mentality that Hurts has in Carson Wentz. But I like Jalen Hurts. Here's what I think here. Here's what I saw in that game Monday night, because I was looking at Hurts the whole entire time when they don't show him on TV the whole entire time either. So when Hurts got to the sideline, he'll celebrate for a touchdown, and then he goes to the sideline. He sits down on the bench, and he just looks forward, and he's just like he's just so in the zone, so prepared, so focused. It was just amazing to just watch that. And he's not on the sideline, overly the game's not over yet. And he's not, congratulating everybody. He is just sits on the bench. He's like, we're not done yet. I'm still just in the zone. I love it. I just love his attitude, man. We got a super chat from Monroe Hatcher. Thank you so much, man. He says, Bird Gang, we bleed green, dude. 100%, man. Fly Eagles fly, dude. This team looks so good right now. Looks so good. Trust me. I mean, after that, look, there are people that went on my video last week or about the Vikings game. They're like, oh, you're nitpicking over stupid crap. I'm like, yeah, I know I am. I'm a content creator. That's what I do. I nitpick over things. It doesn't mean I think the team sucks. It doesn't mean I think they're a terrible team and they're playing horrible. I have to complain about something, okay, which is very little. So people were getting pissed off over that, which I didn't get, but I get it. Oh, you're never happy. You're never happy. Of course I'm happy. You see how happy I was after we won that game? Felix, if the Eagles win the Super Bowl this year, is fair to say we're in the Jake Elliott era? Yeah, but the Jake Elliott era. If they can win a Super Bowl this year, holy crap, man. I'm not gonna go crazy over it, but I feel really good about it though. Forbes says Wentz is social awkward, but not a bad person. Michael says Hurts is the quarterback and Wentz is a football. Lex Lopez says grass ain't always greener. Carson, he's always gotta wonder. Josh says, should I trade Swift for Chase? I have a trade offer. I would keep Swift, dude. I would keep Swift. Who does the Lions play this week? Oh, they got the Vikings this week. Who do the Bengals have next week? It depends who the Bengals are playing. Rob said, if we get a great run in the playoff, which would you prefer to add OBJ or AB? No. AB, no. That guy is a cancer to society. Hell no. I would not even attempt that. OBJ, maybe, but do we really, if we were down a receiver or something, then yeah, but right now, probably not. Nate says, no, I didn't know the top of the shoulder stuff. Well, Eagle says, keep Swift. He's balling his butt off. Nate says, did you see Devontae and Quez's face while holding Rager's Vikings jersey? Yeah, like, are we gonna burn this? Are we gonna burn this at the NovaCare complex? Yeah, I guess they switched jerseys, which I don't know. I guess they're still friends. I guess they still have relationships with these guys. So, two pops. I got Ravens versus Eagles in the Super Bowl. Leo says, good to be critical. James says, so Joey, if Hurts plays bad, are Eagles fans going to bash on him? Like, not like he's lit up the lights for 3 touchdowns throwing. That's always going to happen every game. If Hurts plays really bad, like if he plays okay, then I don't think it's going to be a big deal. But Eagles fans are always going to be overcritical over things. I mean, I'm going to be critical of Jalen Hurts this year because this is like the year he has to really prove himself. So there's no more taking the training wheels off. Like he's got to do everything on his own, and it's time for him to be the quarterback we know that he could be. So I'm going to be very critical of him this year. So. Eagle Slayer says, you were happy after last game. I was really happy. Big T says, any Philly player that fights to leave instead of fighting to play, they'll get booed. We saw it in Ben Simmons. They'll be the same for Wentz, but I don't think Doug will be booed. No, definitely not, dude. Definitely not. And how you said that was perfect. Okay. Carson Wentz pretty much said when he had his press conference with Washington, or with the Colts, he pretty much said, yes. After I was benched in that, after he was benched in the Colts, the Green Bay Eagles game, his mind was already outside of Philadelphia leaving. I mean, that showed like that was horrible. I mean, he literally wanted to get traded after that game. I mean, that's some weak ass piece of crap. That's ridiculous. Sorry, but that's some weak-minded shit. No joke. Yo, Danny Lukenheimer, what's going on, dude? Mario Ortega says, unpopular opinion, Nakobe Dean isn't going to pan out. It might be. Yeah, it might be the unpopular opinion. But I feel like he'll be more of a next year type thing. I mean, I don't know. They're not. He's got a lot of. I mean, the problem is Nakobe Dean has a lot of good players in front of him right now. He's got a lot of good players in front of him. So I mean, I would have thought maybe they would have put him on. Maybe they would have put him on, some blitzes, some blitz packages or something like that. But I don't know what they're doing. They might, I mean, who knows? I mean, maybe down the line he gets more playing time. But for right now, I'm not going to say anything because we haven't seen the full effect of what Nakobe Dean could do. Yes, we've seen him in college, what he could do. But I thought for that Jets preseason game, a couple of the preseason games, he looked fantastic. But, it just wasn't enough, I guess. I don't know. Jones, y'all got to chill with the Super Bowl aspirations. Leave that for the Cowboys fans. Eagles fans supposed to be smarter. I mean, I'm just answering the questions. I'm just answering the questions to everybody. Look, I would love it, but I'm not going to. I take it week by week. Joseph says, I would keep Swift. Alexis says, letting go of DeAndre Carter was one of the dumbest things we've done in a long time. I wish we had him returning punts and kicks. Carter's still producing with teams right now. Carter is still producing. I forgot what team he's on. I just thought about him the other day. I'm like, and that was the year where we literally had, after he left, like we had no speed. I think we had to add more to our defense, or we had to make a roster spot for somebody else or something. But I loved Carter, man. Carter was great. I think that was a huge mistake. 100%. Josh, I feel like I should counter Mixon for Chase. He's desperate for a running back. Felix D says Rager must have wanted the Eagles jersey with the winner's name on it. Rose, I got Debo and Chase on my starting wide receivers. I like that combo. Monroe says that we will be 3 wins to 0 losses after this week of week number 3 this coming Sunday. I totally agree with you, Monroe. Totally agree. Dave's the biggest key is pressure on Carson Wentz. He gets panicky and makes mistakes. Johnny says, funny, found out that I'm going to get to the Eagles, going to go to the Eagles versus Cowgirls game in a suite when the Eagles come to Dallas to play. Every time I've gone to the Eagles have won, so I'm hoping for the same result. Hey, you know what? I went in that suite, I think, one time. I think it was like the Toyota. I forgot what it's called over there. I went there once. It was pretty cool. I went up there for like a free pass one day, and I thought it was pretty cool. But I hope you enjoy yourself, and I hope you bring good luck because you're going to the game, and they always win against Dallas when you show up. So I hope that's the case, man. Seriously says, I do every time. White on white, Wolverine, brother. Joseph says they were thinking about wiping their ass with Rager's jersey. Oh, my God. Jay says it's a prove it year for Hurts. No excuses. Can't be his legs. Got to be his arm. Yeah, I agree, but you can't take away his legs. The thing is, they can't handicap him and say they can't run RPOs. They can't use his legs. Part of his game is using his legs, which he only had 56, 57 yards rushing, so that's not bad. I don't want Jalen Hurts to have more rushing yards than all the running backs combined. Otherwise, that's a problem. That's a big problem. Okay, that's what I don't want to happen. I need Jalen Hurts. Yes, he has to win with his arm. I thought Monday was a complete, even down at between the 10 to the 20-yard line because our special teams suck right now. I think he played fantastic from all of the weapons that he has right now and what's around him. I thought the distribution was perfect. I thought it was great. It was 131, 134 yards for all the running backs combined. Great. It was a great game from all around. Great team win all around. Cosmo says, Joey, what you said about Hurts sideline focus is why I hate McNabb. Hurts can't. Remember when McNabb picked up the phone on the Giants sideline after being shoved out of bounds? Total clown. Yeah, I totally get it. Miles says Wentz will choke on Sunday. Seriously, it says Hurts cannot lose to Carson. He'll never hear the end of it. Carlton. Why the hell would you want to stay to a backup? A rookie is a horrible team. Dude, it's not the point in he got benched for that one game. That he got benched because he was just playing that bad. He was playing bad prior to that game. It's not the only game he was playing bad, dude. He was throwing like 2 picks a game that year. Like he was playing that bad. They didn't pull him earlier. They should have pulled him earlier. How would he feel? He's getting paid franchise money. Like, you're getting paid franchise money. When you're getting paid franchise money, none of that crap should bother you, okay? Your mindset is not trying to leave the team, bro. Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, I respect, like, what you just said 100%. But ever since Nick Foles won the Super Bowl, he has been psyched, screwed up since that time. Since that time, Carson Wentz has been all over the place with his emotions, okay? Not only that, his injury from 2017, his LCL, ACL injury, lingered into next year, which he shouldn't have played. And then on top of that, he had a spinal injury, which he couldn't even do nothing. And yet Nick Foles comes in, plays very well. We were one Alshon Jeffrey catch away from literally going to the NFC Championship game against the Rams that were terrible and the Pats that were terrible in the Super Bowl because defensively they were just better. One of the most boring Super Bowls I've ever watched. Okay? So when it comes to all that stuff, man, like, yeah, like I understand Wentz's side of things, but at the same time, you're getting paid franchise money. Like, you can't be acting like this. You just can't. I didn't blame them for benching Wentz. How can I? The guy was never reprimanded. The guy, they were caressing his ego every single week. Like, he'd go to the sideline, Doug would just pat him on the back, and he just not sit near anybody. Like, he was just a selfish player, man. He's a selfish player. Then he goes to the Colts, silver platter. Frank Reich is the only reason why he's the starting quarterback right now. That is the only reason why Wentz is even a starting quarterback right now. That's just the truth. So I have my flaws with him. I didn't like the way he left, said nothing to the fans. And I don't care if there was a rumor out there saying, oh, well, he wasn't supposed to say anything to the fans. He was told not to say anything to the fans. Like, he didn't come out with a humble video and say, hey, guys, like, not this PR bullshit that they have someone write their goodbye letter to a team. I'm talking like a video or like a sincerity to your fan base. People that wear your freaking jersey, and did absolutely nothing. So I don't feel bad for him at all, dude. I don't. Not at all. Mayor said, you're thinking just because Dean not playing don't mean he ain't going to plan out. The Eagles are keeping a hot hand, and Dean got to wait his turn. Dean was the best linebacker in college. Yeah, I don't think they think he's bad. I think there's way too much competition in front of him. There's only so much they could do with so many guys. You know what I mean? So I get it. Jock says he'll let safety Jordan Poyer go. Danny says Carson Wentz' whole career is just strange. Injuries and lack of intangibles have really killed him. Danny says Carson likes to say the word whirlwind a lot. Joe says Dean is my favorite pick from the draft. Drew, what's going on, dudes? Hey, Joey, hope night going. I just got home hanging, bud. Dude, I hope you're having a good day, man. Mayor Slime said, Mario, you sound dumb. Dude was leading tackler on the team in the preseason. Dude, you ain't even got Eagles practice in the offseason. I did. Josh says, what up? What you dipping? I'm dipping. Oh, if I was down south, I'd be dipping some different stuff, but I'm dipping some Skull Cherry. That is the primal choice. James said it's a division, won't just be a walkover. Mayor says, Mario, you goofy. Dean was a dog in college. Now he can't tackle. I think the issue with Dean was he couldn't tackle big running backs. I think that was one of the issues. Like I think the only issue I saw Dean in college was he couldn't tackle bigger running backs. I think that was really it. But I could be wrong. I mean, that's what I've seen from him. But I don't think he's bad because of that reason. So I don't think he's bad at all. They should have pulled him week 6. They should have pulled him week 4, dude. Week 6 was way too long. They should have pulled him literally week 4. No joke. Week 4 or 5. Maybe I'd say week 4 they should have pulled him. Jade says Wentz has no good attitude. Dude has skills, lacks something mental awareness in his game. Eagles say he should have sat out for 2018 season. Honestly, could have, should have, would have. John Jones says if Jordan Davis playing Sunday, they need to start playing the Kobe Dean as well was an issue in Roseman not drafting that linebacker position because it wasn't a big need for the offensive line. Josh said, I would love for the Eagles to win Super Bowl, but the Bills are going to be hard to beat. They are. They're going to. John said, who's the linebackers coach for the Eagles? Nick Rallis. Worst behavior. I think they may be maturing, but we'll see. Joseph, have a good night, Joey. All right, dude. Have a good night, man. Big detail. All I can say is God, how he managed to get a first from the Colts for Wentz. Thank you, Carson, for helping us get our first Super Bowl. But Philly needed a player and a leader. Hurts is 10 times the leader. I totally agree. Big T knows what I'm talking about, dude. I mean, there was issues when he went to the Colts that there was some leadership. The Carson Wentz wanted to meet with the Colts owner, and the owner literally declined the meeting. I mean, apparently there was Carson Wentz was questionable about his leadership by his teammates when he was with the Colts. You know what I mean? Like, there's just something up with him, and I don't know what it is, but. John said, Miles Murphy, Brent Cox, and Habakkuk Baldonado. Mayor said, Joey, I lost all faith in Wentz when they said he was going to have QB competition and he asked for a trade. Yeah, dude, that was it, man. That was it. Torville said, I think Wentz knows he screwed up now, but too late. Now he is stuck with a poorly run franchise, and this is probably his last chance. I totally agree. I think this is Wentz's last hoorah to be a starting quarterback. I don't think he's going to do a damn thing with Washington, okay? I think he's going to play well at some points. I think he plays well. I think the last couple of weeks I thought he's played pretty good. The Colts last year I thought he played really good. He just choked at the end of the year. He choked the last 2 games. He barely threw the ball over 15 times because Jonathan Taylor was the face of that offense with the Colts. And then that Jaguars game really wasn't even his fault. The whole entire offense just fell apart. Got sacked 7-8 times. So. Miles, I want all Martin Kobe Dean defensive and more Kennedy Brooks off. Well, Kenny Brooks, I think, is on practice squad. I don't think they're bringing him up. I think if they're going to bring a running back up, it's going to be Trey Sermon. Greek Warriors 5373. What's going on, dudes? Eric Coleman stop and Wentz wagon BS because he wasn't the reason we won a Super Bowl. He helped us get there. Foles balled out and won it and finished the job and was Super Bowl MVP and goated Slayer. No, I agree, dude. Like I think Wentz helped us win a Super Bowl. Obviously, Nick Foles has never had a full season healthy, and that's just the truth. So, Wentz paved the way for Nick to start, a couple games before the playoffs. And, it was what the Rams, the Raiders, they had the first week bye, and then they went into the, they went in as a last place underdog. As a number one seed versus the Falcons in the divisional round. So, Brian said, my prediction, Hurts throws over 350 and 3 or 4 touchdown Wentz, sacked 6 or 7 times, a fumble in 2 units. Eagles defense absolutely collapsed under Wentz. Damn. John says, in college, Hurts threw for what was 9,400 yards. Don't know how many touchdowns. He threw 20 interceptions. Phil Bill says, dude, Wentz is the exact same dude as Rager. Thought he was entitled to his spot because of the draft when he ain't. Get it. Pulled the same thing Rager did. I don't like you anymore, Philly. Drew, so Washington is a bad organization. There's a lot of stuff going on in Washington with that owner. Mike Mulvey says, Eagles are the best team in the NFC. Only teams that scare me are Dolphins, Chiefs, and Bills, but I fully believe the Eagles can beat Tampa if Hurts keeps playing like this. I totally agree. I think if we had a rematch with Tampa Bay right now, I think they could win. Steelers lost 29-17. Travis, I don't think Wentz out duels Brady in the Super Bowl. He wouldn't probably beat in Atlanta, Minnesota, but I don't think Wentz would have handled the Pats. And 2000, no, probably not. Regis Shakes, you obviously didn't watch Jags playoff game. Wentz was horrible and gave it away. The whole offense was horrible. It wasn't just Wentz. He had no protection that game at all versus the Jags. He had no protection that whole entire game. Yeah, he held on to the ball. He had no time to throw the ball, man. There was nothing that it wasn't just him. That whole offense fell apart, man. The whole offense fell apart. Yeah, some is the blame on Wentz, but the whole offense fell apart, dude. It wasn't just him. So, John Doe says Eagles railed around Foles more than Wentz. John says any of those teams can be beaten. Morales said it shouldn't be Brooks. He deserves a chance. It should be Brooks that he deserves a chance. I don't know if he's going to get his chance, man. As much as I want him to have his chance, I don't think he's going to get it. If it's going to be somebody, it's going to be Trey Sermon, dude. They got Trey Sermon off waivers. They like Trey Sermon more than Kennedy Brooks. That's just the truth. That is just the truth. So that's how it goes, man. That's how it goes. Jay Pierre said, listen, I'm a Wentz fan, but he needs to learn to lean on his teammates and stop trying to be a one-man show. But I'm glad he got Hurts as our QB, as he's a monster. Pause. No, I agree. I totally agree. Look, if you're a Wentz fan, fantastic. Like I don't throw any shade on anybody that's a Wentz fan whatsoever. Okay, everybody's got their own opinion, so I respect everybody's opinion. It is what it is. Whatever I say, people don't like it. It is what it is. But I think he's one of the most selfish quarterbacks I've ever seen. That's just me. He doesn't care if he don't even care if he has 2 broken arms, 2 broken legs. He'll still want to get back into a game. He doesn't want anybody shining but him. He's not a team player. He's just not. Never was. Maybe he learned a lot. Maybe he's more of a team player now. And I hope so. Lex Lopez says Frank is obviously part of the problem in Indy. They're not looking too hot. No, it's not. And he's like the main play caller over there. So John says Kenny Brooks on this roster. He is on the practice squad, I think. It's the last message posted while I was editing. Yo. Jay said, hold your horses, Eagles fans. Philly ain't the best team in the NFC. Wait until 13-14 to say that. Only time will tell. Against who? What? You're talking about the Colts? You're talking about what? The Titans? What are we talking about? I mean, really, the meat and potatoes of our schedule. Week 13, 14. Let's see here. You're talking about Green Bay? Yeah, we'll see what Green Bay. We got Green Bay what? We got Green Bay on a Sunday night game. Green Bay. Green Bay and Tennessee. I don't know, dude. Tennessee doesn't look great right now. Tennessee looks like they're already 0-2 right now. They don't look great. I mean, both these teams could look completely different at the end of the year. So it's a long time from now until November 27th to December 4th. This team could look completely different. I mean, who knows? I hope they stay on a steady pace. But if you're worried about Green Bay, I'm not worried about Tennessee. And Green Bay, like, they just need to just play. I mean, Rodgers is dealing with a lot of new pieces right now. So, it just depends. I was kind of like saying, okay, Tennessee might be a problem, but they might not be. They might be a total dumpster fire. Malik Willis might be the quarterback by that time. So they might actually play better. So Tennessee might actually be better at that time with Malik Willis being the quarterback. I don't think Ryan Tannehill's going to last. That's just me. Where's Bears? So the Colts haven't beat the Jags. Jacksonville in almost 5 years. They first fall apart every time they go there. Mike says, do you think Hurts is our franchise QB? In my opinion, he just keeps getting better. Also, I really like Nick Sirianni. I love Nick, by the way. I've grown to love Nick even more and more. He's got no filter during the games. I love his attitude. I love how the players want to play for him. Nick Sirianni is the main reason why the culture is the way it is. He started the culture in Philadelphia as the new head coach last year, and I think it's just getting better and better. Yet to be determined if Jalen Hurts is the quarterback. By week 8 or 9 of the season, that's when I'm going to figure out if he is a franchise quarterback that they should pay him. So. Misty, if we had our special teams from 2013 to 2015, this team is complete. Dude, I think 2014, I think we had like 10 touchdowns on special teams that year. It was crazy. 2015 was great too. Darren Sproles was great. Josh Huff. I don't think Josh Huff was playing in 2015. That was still the Chip Kelly era. So Eagles players said Joshua was hollering at him, throw it away when they practiced. Carlton says, I believe A.J. Brown will get his first touchdown. So, yeah, A.J. Brown doesn't have a touchdown yet. Devontae Smith doesn't have a touchdown yet. So, Big T said, I think defense needs to do the same thing we did last week. I think McLaurin and Dotson, the wide receiver, are too like the Vikings. Holding rushing game and pressuring Carson is key. I think more picks to come. Totally agree. Sermon runs passive. I just want to see, man. Like, I just want them to just throw him out there. Something. Drew says, is Nakobe Dean playing this week? I don't know. But he said, not quite Jefferson level, but a good receiving core the Commanders have. Oh, yeah, I think they have. I think Jefferson's better than McLaurin. I think Jefferson's better than McLaurin. That's just me, though. I think McLaurin's really good. But Slay has already faced McLaurin a few times already. So I think he knows how McLaurin, because he studies. I mean, look, it was so funny because big play Slay, Darius Slay, had the top 100 players last year, and he actually talked about Justin Jefferson. He's like, I'm going to be facing him next year, and, I'm going to be studying a lot of his tape. And it was just funny how he said all that. He studies good tape, so we'll see. Gibson might be a problem. Dotson might be a little bit of a problem, but I'm not worried too much about it. I'm more afraid of their running game than their passing games. I think we can get enough pressure on Wentz. Mike said a lot of mock drafts have us drafting Bijan Robinson this year. I wouldn't mind drafting a bruiser running back. What do you hope the Eagles draft looks like? What do you want? I mean, right now I want a defensive end because you're going to be losing 4 defensive linemen. As of right now, with no re-signs or anything, you're losing. Look, I know Derek Barnett's on contract for another year, but he's going to be rehabbing. Probably won't even play till the first or second game. So who knows? I'd get rid of Derek Barnett. Fletcher Cox is definitely gone. Brandon Graham's definitely gone. And, if he comes back for a minimal deal, that's the only way I'm bringing Brandon Graham back. And obviously, Javon Hargrave is a big re-sign candidate. So they're not getting rid of 4 defensive linemen in 1 year. After 1 year, it's definitely not happening. So I'm expecting Hargrave to get re-signed and save some money at the same time during that extension. And for them to draft, and Jordan Davis moves up to the spot. Milton Williams becomes your number 3. And then, drafting Will Anderson is probably going to be where you're going to go in this draft. But they're not going to be in contention to get him. They're going to have to trade up for him. There's no way he might be a mid-round, first-round pick. I mean, who knows? Who knows? I mean, he goes early. But I don't think they'll be in contention to get him. And I mean, if the Saints' first-round pick is a high one, which I don't know if it's going to be, so we'll see. But Travis, I don't fault rank that much. I think the Colts owner is the main issue in questionable GM decisions. John said, hey, Joel, if I'm Howie Roseman, I'm waiting until next year's draft to get a defensive end and watch highlights of Miles Murphy from Clemson, Brenton Cox out of Florida, and Habakkuk Baldonado from Pitt. They said Jordan Davis should start, and should start, and Fletcher should be used as a situational. I mean, you're not using him as situational. I mean, look, I think Jordan Davis needs more snaps. I thought he had a pretty good game against the Vikings. Like, he was knocking some guys down. He was clogging up the holes. I mean, he took some double teams pretty well. The first game against the Lions, I mean, when Jordan Davis was in the game on 21, 22 snaps, the Lions only rushed like 13, 14 times for like 43 yards. So he definitely made a big impact playing against the Lions, and I thought he played pretty good, just not enough snaps. So Titans are trash because we took their best receiver. I mean, I'm not even a big fan of Treylon Burks too much. Like, he looks okay. Like, is he like, oh my God, is he like, do I look at the Titans and look at Treylon Burks and say, oh my God, he totally replaced AJ Brown and got a better talent out of it? Not really. I think there's just a lot more issues. I think their play calling, there's a lot of issues with their OC. I think the Titans fans have been talking about trying to get rid of their OC. So Cosmo Kramer says, Joey, I looked up the word arrogant in the dictionary, and it had photos of Carson Wentz, Jalen Reagor, and Ben Simmons. I think we need a new special teams coach. The blocking is terrible. We obviously need a returner, but with the poor blocking, a good returner wouldn't do well here. Yeah, I think Michael Clay needs to go. They need to move on. I think they're definitely gonna fire some positional coaches. So I think Michael Clay is definitely done. Out of here. Done. Right after my prediction, Kennedy Brooks will somehow come in and shock the league. I don't know, dude. Like, I didn't see enough from him, man. I didn't see enough from him. I thought when he ran north and south, he did well. And I understand the Eagles want to do as much with him as possible. They throw to him. They ran him east and west. They ran him north and south. But I thought when he ran north and south, he pushed the pile pretty good. So, yeah, just some people in the chat saying Eagles are the best team in the NFC. What I meant was wait until week 13, 14 to claim that they are. Oh, okay. I thought you meant to play a certain team or something. Yeah, I mean, yeah, this team could look totally different at the end of the year. They could lose, 4 games in a row at the end of the year. They could totally fall flat at the end of the year. So depends on what teams stay hot. If a team stays hot all year, it just depends. But this team could look totally different. Are they going to be in the same? Are they still going to be healthy by that time? A lot of things could change with this team. So, Chubbs, I think Nick's flower speech actually worked. It did work. I thought it was a joke, but it actually did work. John, so if I'm Howie Roseman, I wouldn't want to go after defensive end until the 2023 draft. Torville says that we need at least a couple of young defensive ends. We have too much age, and Sweat hasn't been great. Sweat's been fine. I mean, look, the numbers aren't there for Sweat. Sack. What do you have? 1 sack? I think we have one sack in this game? He was very disruptive. When they went to a 3-4, I think Sweat played good. Sweat was great against the run game against the Vikings Monday night. I thought he played really good. I thought Sweat played great. That's what I'm saying. Like, the numbers aren't there for this defensive line, but the pressures are where it counts. I think that's where it counts the most. James says the NFL is week by week thing. The most teams. I totally get it. Liquid says Colts are trash. I hope the owner reaps what he sows. Yeah. I didn't think Matt Ryan would play that bad. I thought he was going to be a really good quarterback over there, but yikes. He's got like 5 picks. What does he have? Like 5 picks in like 2 games? Nate said we just need to keep blitzing QBs. We have the secondary to win a lot of those matchups. John says he needs more snaps. Jordan Davis does. So does Nakobe Dean. Who's the linebacker coach for the Eagles? It's Nick Rallis. I think you asked this before. JJ wrote, said, I didn't like how they used Fletch, Davis, Hargrave, Sweat, and Reddick on the same line. Worked good against Cook. Yeah, it worked good against the run game, but I don't like how they're using Reddick. Reddick is one of the biggest pieces because this guy should have like 3 to 4 sacks already. And he's got none right now. I understand sacks. Like, with him, I need sacks. With him, I need him to hit the quarterback, whether it's a sack or it's whatever the case may be. I need him to do more. So, John said, whoever the linebacker coaches for the Eagles need to utilize Dean. So I'm loving our linebackers this year. Kaiser White, TJ Edwards have been spectacular. They really have been. I don't know if he's going to rotate, man. If they have the hot hand in right now with these linebackers, I don't think they're rotating. They're not going to rotate anything. Like, they're going to keep what they have. You know what I mean? There's said, what grade would you give a pass rush the Vikes game? I've heard everything from terrible, best D-line in the league from YouTube vids. I mean, they have good players. Like, I think Daniil Hunter and Zadarius Smith are monsters. They didn't do anything, but they didn't blitz. Didn't have a spy on Hurts. They ran no stunts. They did nothing. They had 1 sack. They have 1 or 2. They have like 1 sack, 2 sack. I can't remember. But they have good edge rushers. I mean, we had more trouble during the Lions game with the edge rushers and Harris and what's his face. We had more trouble that week with the edge rushers than this week with Danielle Hunter's very good. I know they're outside linebackers, but they're pretty much edge rushers and they could do whatever they want with them. But I think it was pretty bad, to be honest. I thought it was probably one of the worst defensive lines we played, as a game as a whole. I think definitely the worst. I think they are the worst as of right now when it comes to take the Lions and you put them against the Vikings defensive line-wise and the pressure that they gave. Part of it, like I said, the Vikings just gave no pressure at all. So, I'm a Buckeyes fan, and Trey Sermon has potential to grow. 49er fans were saying the same thing. They just think he needed more time. That's all. Mitch says, what's Washington's weakest spot come Sunday position-wise? I think it's pressure up the middle. I think it's center. I think they have a weakness at defensive end because they have 2 guys that haven't practiced. So I think they're going to be weak on the edge defensively. I mean, that's really about it. And Carson Wentz could be a big weakness because he's going to have too much emotion in this game. So the Eagles play the Jaguars the following week. Yeah, we play them at home the following week. Trevor says Sweat is okay, but he's not a 10 sack a year guy. No, I mean he's a 7 to 9 sack guy. That from what he's getting paid, that's what he should have. Marlon Adams says we did not run Kenny Brooks like we should have in the preseason. Sure hope. Well, what they do is in preseason, you're not scheming. When you put in a running back, they're going to do everything with that running back, whether he's not meant to catch the ball or not. They're going to throw passes to Kenny Brooks. They're going to do everything with Kenny Brooks to just test him to see what he's got. That's the whole point of the preseason. You're not scheming against you're not scheming against the team that you're playing. You're just running plays and seeing what works and what doesn't work. I mean, that's with certain players, and that's it. So, I mean, I didn't see there was a little bit of flash, but it just wasn't enough for me. But I would still give somebody a chance. I would move up at least one of these bruisers, maybe a couple. Maybe I would do Sermon 1 week, Brooks another week if they can, just to see what they could do, Mike said, which roster do you think is better now? 17, because if you think our roster is better now, I think we are serious contenders, especially with how weak the NFC seems. I think 17, we had a great defensive line. We brought pressure all the time. Our corners weren't the best in Jalen Mills and Darby, but they just did enough. And you had Malcolm Jenkins to really the big part of that defense, not just the pass rush, but Malcolm Jenkins really put Band-Aids over, your weak spots in your defense. And I think that's what Malcolm Jenkins did did ever since he was here. They moved him around the field and really bandaged up your secondary and put him at linebacker, corner, play him at safety. They did so much with him. I think that was part of it. Offensively, I think we had better running backs. I think we had better running backs because we actually had a bruiser, and obviously LeGarrette Blount and Ajayi was that Punisher back, and Corey Clement, and what they turned him into was great. Good pass out of the backfield, great vision. Not a special skill set, but Clement ran the ball very well because he had great vision and great out of the passing game. I think the offensive line is definitely better. This year. I think other than the penalties, but there's a lot of differences. I think, and obviously the quarterback position is the biggest question that we're trying to find out this year. So I think you have better receivers. There's no doubt. I mean, Torrey Smith only had like a little over 300 yards, but he made a lot of plays when it mattered. Alshon Jeffrey, I mean, you take Alshon Jeffrey and put him next to AJ Brown. I mean, Alshon Jeffrey is nothing compared to what AJ Brown could do. You know what I mean? But Alshon Jeffrey played on a torn rotator cuff that year, and I don't know how he balled out the way he did on a torn rotator cuff, but it's kind of crazy, man. Kind of crazy. So there's a lot of differences. But if you're talking offensively, I think they're better. Defensively, I just think they need more of a pass rush. And I think you get a little bit of a pass rush. Slay and Bradbury and Maddox are going to make a lot of plays. So Word Baker says, I'm just glad Washington drafted Chase instead of Herbert or Tua. Phil Bailey says, let's see. It says, what I'm trying to say is Wentz and Rager are the same dude. To feel entitled to the head and table because where they were drafted when they ain't earned it, it was taken. They ran crying instead of producing. Oh, no, I agree with that. I definitely agree with that. CBS says every year, me and my family always go to the Eagles Commanders games at FedEx. It's almost always more Eagles fans. I think there's going to be a lot. I know there's over 1,000 to 2,000 Eagle fans probably going to be there. And that's just for the groups that are going. So there's like, no, I mean, grade the Eagles. Jay says, Mike Mayer says, roster better than 17, just have to play the games and win. John said, I could see the Eagles go after a Baldonado from Pitt or Miles Murray from Clemson, but it all hinges on what and how he drafts because he's learned from his mistakes. Yes, he killed. He killed both of these drafts the past couple of years, so a couple of seasons. We are going to destroy Washington. Cole said, let's be honest, we the best in the NFC. Big T said, once Sneaky pickup, I can actually see how he's doing as a second tight end. Interesting. Yeah, I don't know who they really value as a second tight end right now. Like Calcaterra, I was actually pretty shocked he made the roster, but I was really happy. I was really happy for Calcaterra to make this roster, but I'm not into Jack Stahl. I'm not into Togiai. I'm not really into any of these guys. Besides Calcaterra being more of a project, Tyree Jackson's another one they have on IR right now. He's more of a project, but this would be his second year playing tight end, but look like he's not going to play this year at all. So going into his second year next year, actually getting playing time, Tyree Jackson is 6'7". I mean, if he could be more, I think he's very athletic for 6'7", and he just had a couple of drops, but had a torn ACL. So Tyree Jackson is definitely one I'm kind of looking at. But that would be somewhat surprising. Yeah. Sneaky. Torville says Washington secondary has been struggling. John says, I'm hoping Howie drafts a defensive end next year's draft. Edgar says the Vikings defense was our defense last year, so passive and soft. Torville says St. Brown destroyed Washington CBs. A.J. Brown, Devontae, and Quez should feast on them. Oh, you're talking about from the Detroit game. Amon Brown. They did. Yeah. Jay says, did you hear crazy old man Jerry Jones saying Prescott being back next week? Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if that's too soon or whatnot. John says, Joey, if you get a chance at the end of the season, watch highlights of all three, Baldonado, Pitt, Murphy, and Clemson, and Brenton Cox from Florida. Yeah, I'm definitely, once we're near the end of the season, I'll get into draft mode. I'll get into draft mode, free agency mode. Obviously, players on our team that are coming off of contracts this year. Morales says, and they didn't use Brooks. It was all Huntley and preseason. Yeah, why? And Huntley ended up going somewhere. What did he go to the Steelers? I forgot where he went. But damn, man, like Huntley, I liked Huntley a lot. I would have put Huntley at. They actually had Huntley at kick returns, and he was actually good. Like I don't know what the point was to keep playing Huntley. Like they gave these other running backs no shot. I mean, I don't get why they did that. It made no sense to me, but. Jay Pierre says, I can't wait till the defense gels. They are balling right now, but I think this defense can be out of this world. But Gann has to blitz more a lot. Reddick is too good to not have any sacks. Yeah, I don't get it. I think can't talk right now. The Lions game, he played 68. Reddick only played 68% of the snaps. He only had 3 blitz. He blitzed 3 times from the Sam linebacker spot. That was it. I think maybe he blitzed a little bit more. I don't even know if he did because if he was on the edge, so he wasn't blitzing. But I don't know, man. They got to do. Reddick is got to show up, and it's not his fault. I think it's just the way they're using him. It's really Gannon the way he's using him. So we'll see. Marlon says, I want to see Brooks and Sermon. Trust me, I want to see a bruiser back. I mean, if they're going to go this route, if they're not using a bruiser back, then I guess they're going to go the route of RPOs on 3rd, 2nd, and shorts and just trying to get an edge. I mean, I guess that's what they're going to do. And let me tell you something. It might be working right now, but there's going to be a time where you're going to face a really good defense that's going to know what Hurts is doing, and it's going to be too predictable. You have to add in some type of bruiser back to your roster on game day. Dane says, aren't we down one more practice squad elevation after Covey, assuming he's there Saturday? We up for more practice squad elevation. Yeah, he's got one more practice squad elevation, and that's it. Then he has to be on the roster. Turbo said, did you hear that Covey had to park the fans parking lot because he forgot his team pass and parking security didn't believe he was a player? Yeah. I thought it was pretty funny. Mike says, Alshon lost a lot fast from injuries when he was a sick prospect out of South Carolina and was nasty in Chicago. Yeah, and the problem when we gave him that 4-year extension fully guaranteed, it was a really good contract at that time, and then he just fell apart. He got injured every step of the way. Cover Chili says, hey, What's up, Joey? Who do you think is going to win on Sunday? And the score prediction. The score prediction for Sunday? I'll say 38-17. I'll say 38-17. Or I'll do 38-20. I think they're gonna score a lot of points. I think with Washington, missing a couple defensive ends for this week, going to be a little bit light on the edge for that pass rush this week. I think they're going to take advantage of the RPOs. I think they're going to get their throws in. Somebody's going to be wide open. I think they're going to get a lot big chunk yards this week. So might be that. I could be wrong. I'm wrong every week. So. Phil Bailey says Sproles, Maragos, Bartram, Dorenbos, Huff, etc. What the hell happened? We used to go after special team talent kickers too. Hell, Coy Detmer was good holder. So again, what happened? No more Quez PR. Yeah, no, Quez isn't on punt returns. Quez is on, you mean kick returns. But I don't like Quez Watkins on kick returns, and obviously Covey's way too raw right now. He takes that horizontal step. He's way too indecisive when he gets the ball in his hands. I don't know why. The blocking is not good. I think all of it's just bad. Michael Clay is just doing a horrible job with the special teams. That I will definitely see. Definitely need to make changes. Yo, Joshua, what's going on, dude? Nate says, I guess Rager's biggest play from the Vikes was his revenge. The Vikings' longest run was the jet sweep from Rager. That was their longest run. Not with Dalvin Cook. Their longest run was the jet sweep. That was their longest run. Why did my camera just turn off? I have no idea what happened. I don't know. That's just crazy. Mike said 49ers are a team to watch out for since Handsome Jimmy is back. Yeah, Jimmy's back, and he looked really good. He looked really good. Pause, but yeah, they might be pretty dangerous now. Now they're so lucky. They're so lucky they didn't trade him, man. They're so lucky they didn't trade him. Very lucky. Covey just wants to work hard, man. Covey just wants to work hard. He says he needs to earn the respect from the fans, and he wants to play well, and he has to play better. So he was very humble about it. So Big T says Hurts already has the third most rushing touchdowns from a QB in Eagles history past Vic this past week, and honestly could beat McNabb by this year, only 2 seasons in. That's nuts. That's crazy. Legendary Donut says, what do you believe is the weakest position group on the Eagles? Weakest position right now is special teams. Specialist on punt return, kick return. There's really nothing weak. It's really the coaching. I mean, you got the players in position to win this year. You gotta just have these guys produce. You got to coach it's play calling. It's play design on both sides of the ball between, your coordinators and Shane Steichen and Jonathan Gannon. I think it's really just special teams that are bad. I think all around it's a really good roster. I think I want to see what we have, down the line with what happens with, Chauncey Gardner-Johnson at safety and Marcus Epps to see how much better they play. Chauncey Gardner-Johnson, has only been here a couple weeks, but, hopefully plays a lot better, more acclimated to what we're doing. Mike says sneaky Howie move will be depth move at some random position or some future move somehow to develop. Yeah, I could definitely see that happening. Mike said, I dig your slasher poster in the background too. I appreciate so much, man. Well, actually, that is not... That's a rug. That was actually a rug, and it was supposed to. It's not. It looks horrible. It was supposed to be. It's like this thin piece of garbage that was supposed to be a rug, and it's not. It's not even a poster, surprisingly. So, Maro says we are going to tear Washington's heads off. They are not comprehending what we are about to do to them this coming Sunday. You want blood. That's what you want. You want some blood, sweat, and tears. Convert Truly says maybe they didn't use Brooks, so no teams claim him. I'm not sure. I wish we could have seen some runs from him in the preseason. Cover Truly says, do you think we should add an edge such as Jay? Well, apparently he already signed with the Ravens. Yeah, apparently he already signed with the Ravens. Sippo's totally redeemed. Yeah, didn't he though? Man, he's fast. Holy crap. I mean, he didn't make that tackle. We would have been screwed, but I mean, we ended up getting that pick from Slay. I mean, that saved us right there. Special teams sucks. They suck. No joke. Curtis, are there any edge rushers you think the Eagles could go after? They can go after Robert Quinn. They can go after D Ford. They have to trade for Robert Quinn, but D Ford's a free agent. I mean, there's only so much you could do. Johnson he's the one that caught the touchdown pass from Hurts? Who, Quez Watkins? Yeah. Yeah. Davis needs to be on the field more, Bloodshot. I totally agree. I think he does. Cole said, I love how Jalen manages the offense. He mastered the RPO. I think he really did. He tricked me a few times when I was at the game. He kind of got me a little confused when I was at the game where I thought the ball was being handed off and he kept it for himself. Kind of tricked me a little bit. So I said, should I trade Dalvin Cook for Austin? I clear PBR chat. Help me out. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not in fantasy, so. Justin, would you say the edges? I think the whole defensive line's underperforming 100%. They played a good game Monday, but they could definitely improve. The edge, we need an edge rush. We don't have an edge rush at all. So I would say the edge is I feel more comfortable inside than I do on the outside on the edge. So Mike says, should we draft corners? Slay and Bradbury are getting up there in age. I want to continue having dominant corners. That just depends what they want to do with Slay. Slay's here for one more year after this year. Bradbury's a free agent after this year. So who knows if Bradbury loves this team and wants to stay here and we'll take, not as much money, not as much more money. They could sign him if they want. Re-sign him. I would still draft a corner next year, or they get rid of Bradbury, get a corner in the first round and kind of let Slay groom that player for a couple years. If they give Slay I think you have to give Slay an extension. I think Slay needs to have an extension. I think you grab you grab a number one, you grab the best corner in the draft. If you don't want to go after defensive end, you draft the number one corner. You let Slay groom him if Bradbury is gone, and I think you take it from there. John says, yeah, Justin, that's why I don't want Howie to go after defensive end. How old are you, JP and Robert? Yeah, Robert Quinn's 32. JPP, I don't even know how old JPP is. I mean, JPP and Robert Quinn would be fine here because they're in a rotation, so I wouldn't really worry about it too much. They're conserving a lot of energy, so I'm not going to go crazy about it. I think they both fit very well. Bloodshot I say we use the first round to get DL and cornerback. I'd probably agree, man. Build that defense back up. I totally would do that. I don't think they're going to use 2 first-round picks. I don't think they are. I think they're going to trade back one of those picks. I think they're going to make a big move in free agency not for cornerback. I don't think they make a move at cornerback in free agency, but I will never get a free agent corner ever again. Never again. I'm done with getting free agent cornerbacks. I just don't want to pay that type of money. It's just the Eagles are not going to be able to afford it anyway. So James says, Doug will improve his Jags team. I see what the playoffs team next year. Andy Reid, ex-staffs are winners. James said, Gann needs to stop putting him in coverage. He should just be a defensive end at this point. I totally agree with that. Coverage says, Joey, you were right since the draft, and your analysis on Davis, he is a monster against the run. Obviously, still room for improvement. Yeah, like I said, I wasn't expecting him to do a lot this year. He's going to become the starter next year next to Javon Hargrave when Hargrave gets his extension. But not saying he can't pass rush, but his conditioning he's a first round pick for us. So they have got to get him back on task and make sure he maintains his weight. Because if he gets overweight, that's the only reason what's going to happen. If he gains too much weight, he's going to lose his power, and he's just going to be a dud, and he's not going to work out. John says Gann realizes this weekend game will either get him over the top as a defensive coordinator or he's gone. John says, Bloodshot, go after the Ballnell, Murphy, or Cox. All 3 are edge rushers. T. Barry says, what up, Joey? Late one today. Yeah, today we did a late one. We started at, 10:15 we started? Maris says, hey, Joey, you watched the Netflix series Jeffrey Dahmer, bro? Awful. What happened? They made a hell of a good show. Like, awful as in, it was bad, or awful as in what he did was awful, but it was a good show. I haven't watched it yet. But Joey, who do you think the Saints will have a bad season, thus giving us a high first round pick? I don't know how. I mean, they have a pretty bad. Their schedule is not easy this year. It's not. It's pretty bad. I think they'll win. I think they have the Panthers this week, so they'll probably win. They lost against the Bucks. They got the Panthers this week. So Steve says, you got any good restaurants through while you were in Philly? No, I didn't have time, man. I literally went straight back to the hotel after the game, so I didn't really go anywhere. That slow says, got to keep pressure on and hit Wentz. I totally agree. James said, why go defensive? Hurts play good. You got to build the O-line to protect. Well, dude, you're not. I don't think they're drafting another. They'll draft another offensive. They'll always draft another offensive lineman, but I don't think they're drafting an offensive lineman in the second round again this year. I don't think so. I think you have to start looking at right tackles and left tackles. Well, I don't know, actually. You might have to look at a few positions. Left tackle, because Dillard's not going to be here. Right tackle, because Johnson's getting old. Left guard, maybe, too. But we'll see. We'll see. I mean, yeah, I think they're going to draft another offensive lineman, but I don't think they go as much as a second round pick with one unless somebody's starting. You know? So we'll see. But guys, we have 174 in the chat. Appreciate everybody being here today on a late night stream. If you guys haven't subscribed to the channel. Check out some of the videos. I'm gonna have a couple videos out for this is gonna be the schedule for the weekend. So gonna have a couple videos out tomorrow. Saturday, we're gonna do a stream, an early stream, like early afternoon, like before like 4 p.m. Eastern. Like we're gonna do an early stream Saturday. Videos on Saturday. We'll have the shakedown Saturday night on Philly's channel. Sunday, I'm gonna be streaming the game. A live play-by-play of the game. I'm going to do a post-game stream by myself, and then I'll be hosting the Philly Shakedown Sunday night. So it's going to be busy. It's going to be really busy. So I'm going to go for a couple more minutes, guys. We've been on here for like 2 hours, 26 minutes. I've been having fun, though. You know, we're just talking the crap out of what's going on, you know, for next game. And, yeah, we'll be good to go. Mayor said, what he did was awful and crazy and shows good. You should watch. Yeah, no, I definitely, I like watching those true story, like Netflix shows and stuff. I love watching those. Ganny's not play soft and scared. Slay can handle Terry, but outside that needs to send pressure. Wentz will struggle. We send pressure. Jalen X says, are we still in need of running backs? It just depends on what the Eagles want to do. Like I'm figuring the Eagles don't want to use a bruiser back at all. I think they like the RPO system of what they have, and they think they can that Jalen Hurts is so good at doing it that they don't need a bruiser back. But I like to make things easy and not make things too hard. Pause. But you know what I mean. John says, "Cole, I saw highlights from Robertson. He's legit." Monroe says, "I want to see Hassan Reddick with 2 sacks off the edge this weekend." I hope so, man. I got to see something. Phil Billis has got 2 twos and 24. If you want to start replacing O-line, 23 need cornerback and defensive end. Bloody Shot said, please like and subscribe to Joey. He put another so Joey can put another poster up so we don't have to see that damn empty wall space. Where? I have some Eagles stuff. I have a Super Bowl flag on my wall that I barely show. But that space, I'm not going to fit anything in that space, probably. I'm actually, by the end of this season, I'm going to have a brand new computer, new setup. Everything's going to look different by that time. So I'm building like a $7,000 to $8,000 computer right now, which is pretty much done. I'm just not putting it together now because I'm going to wait to the end of the year. Scheme says if the Eagles win 13 or 14 games, he's got to win Coach of the Year. I would say so. Because Hassan Reddick has been so close to sacks like 4 times last 2 games. He's so fast around the O-line. He stumbles a lot because of it. Yeah, I mean, he stumbled a little bit. He's fallen on his face a couple times, but he has been this close. The defensive line has been really close. Even on Monday night, they were almost there a few times. So, Mayor said Reddick should strictly be a rusher. If we go get another, don't get one just to fill the spot. Get one that could actually produce like the one from the Bears. Yeah, Robert Quinn. Yeah, Robert Quinn would be a good signing. Which I have you thought of a different intro for your channel. I really don't have an intro. I have that little thing I made, like I have, like for my logo and stuff. Like I don't really have I'm not really an intro type guy. I have a little bit of like a clip. Do like a little clip, like when I want to talk about my points, before the video starts. But I'm not really a big intro guy. I have to do an outro soon because I haven't made one in a while. Nate says, son, fearing shakedown, we should buy Joey a new chair. Yeah, definitely. This chair is done. Like I can't sit in this chair more than an hour. Like it kills me sitting in this chair. I can't stand it. If you guys want to pay for a chair, there it is. It's broken. I'm literally moving the handles, like the armrest on the chair. So if you want to send some money my way to get me a new chair, I'm totally fine with it. Trust me. There's I say, what would you grade the Eagles pass rush in the Vikings game? I mean, for what? I mean, look, for the pass, if you're just talking strictly pass rush, like it converted 3 interceptions that game. Like I mean, I think it was a B plus to the A minus, and I thought it was an A minus. I would say probably pass rush because it wasn't perfect at times because it wasn't consistent, but it got the job done and got us turnovers. So that's just the way I'm going with it. So would you rather have a quarterback overthrow or underthrow? I would say overthrow because then you'll know that you can adjust that and you can adjust how how strong a quarterback's arm is and obviously the quarterback has to train and just get better. I think that's easy. I think easily I would want that more, but even though they're both pretty bad. I mean, underthrowing, I think you get more turnovers underthrowing, but I think I'd rather overthrow. That's just me though. Oh, it was so nice. No, Jalen Hurts wasn't rolling out to his right all the time. It was great. It was fantastic. He looked like he was in sync with everything that was going on, which was great. Can't even complain about it whatsoever. So, all right, guys, that's gonna be it for tonight. 2 hours, 31 minutes of the stream. It's been a fantastic night. I appreciate everybody being here. If you guys haven't hit the like button, it really does help the channel out a lot. Subscribe to the channel if you're new. We cover the Eagles every single day. We do live play-by-plays of every game on Sunday or whenever we have game day every week. The Philly Shakedown on the weekends. We're gonna have 3 streams Sunday. It's gonna be a long day Sunday. So very excited to cover the Eagles and Washington, and we'll have a couple of videos out for tomorrow. So we'll have an early stream on Saturday. We'll have an early stream Saturday, and we'll be ready to go. So we got a super chat from Jalen. Hey, what's going on, dude? Appreciate it so much. Says Jalen Hurts crossbody throw was crazy. Forgot who it was too, but it was cool. I think it was Goddard. Maybe was it Goddard? It might have been Goddard, Quez maybe on the sideline catch that was brought back. I'm not sure which one it was. I'm trying to figure out which one you're talking about. So, but appreciate the super chat so much, man. But yeah, we'll be back to we'll have a couple videos out tomorrow. Saturday we will have a stream early, probably between 2 to 4 in the afternoon Eastern. So we'll do a short stream. And we'll be ready to go for this weekend. So more videos on the Washington Commanders probably by tomorrow and more stuff to work on. So, all right, guys, you guys have a fantastic day. Make sure you like the stream. Make sure you subscribe and make sure you hit the like button. Like I said, hit the like button. It does help with the channel. And we'll see you. We'll see you Saturday on the next stream, and we'll have some videos out tomorrow. So, all right, guys, you guys have a great night. I'll see you guys later. SHAKESQUAD up, follow, slide. Peace out, guys. Peace.